Neil? God?
Yes.
Ground control to Lisa Nowak. Ground control to Lisa Nowak. Set your cruise control and keep your diaper on.
Listen, Mission Control, you are go for lunch.
I don't have time for lunch.
Not lunch. Lunch. Stupid.
Don't you think I know that?
5, 4, 3, 2. We have ignition.
And you're sitting in your deep hands, fly far away. The sinner bonds for you as you sit in your doo-doo.
Well, that story sure didn't have what you call legs, you know. Sometimes they say, well, this story has legs.
Well, she got upstaged.
By Anna Nicole's body?
That's right.
Well, shame on that bitch, whichever one you're talking about. Boy, I still have a little bit of that. Oh, that chartreuse puce. Man, not too good. Although I'm doing great. You know, cold is going to last. It's going to run its course no matter what you do.
Right. Like monitors.
Of course, like what?
Monitors. This one completely died, so.
Oh, no. Well, what did I tell you? The monitor was dying over there.
And it died.
I'm not gonna replace it. I'm not buying any more equipment for that studio. For this studio here, no problem.
Got our staff working on it.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Our staff or our staff?
Our staff working on it.
Your stiff engineering staff?
Yeah.
At any rate, whatever. So the monitor on the DCS died down there, so you're not going to be able to play...
anything.
Anything at all?
Well, I can play stuff, yeah.
Like that?
I got that
guess
over
what
here.
movie was on again last night? Only I fell asleep. God, I love that movie.
Never saw it.
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Oh, that one, Fargo.
Fargo.
Yeah. It's great.
With William H. Macy and Frances McDormand. You know, every time I see her, no matter what movie it's in, although especially that one, I just love her. She's great.
Well, then I will send you a copy of Raising Arizona.
Why do you have to send me a copy? I can't afford to go out and get it? Well, you know I won't. I'm too lazy.
Well, it's not a matter of that. It's about I already have a copy of it, and I can make you a copy.
Well, then why don't you do that?
I will.
Send me a copy. If she's in it, I'm going to like it. She's great.
not in a major role in it, but she's hysterical. The parts of it.
What?
She's hysterical in it, the parts that she's in.
Yeah, she's a great actress. And just, I don't know, there's just something really neat about her. I don't know. Maybe it's that movie, but I saw her in some other flick, too, and she was great.
Blood Simple.
Frances McDormand.
You saw her in that, it was that black and white Coen Brothers movie that I thought was really slow and boring with Billy Bob Thornton. The man who wasn't there, the quiet man, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was...
the man who smoked cigarettes in the dark in slow motion. I don't know.
Was that with the guy that was trying to kill his wife? He
set
up the deal to kill his
good
wife?
plot. I just thought it moved really slow.
Oh, you guys with that movie. All you action punks, you know. When you get to be as old as I am, sometimes if it moves a little slow, it's not so bad. Then at least you can catch it, you know.
When you get to be as old, life is short. You don't have time to wait for events to unfold.
That sounded like a shot to me. When you get to be old, life is short.
Yeah.
I just might outlive your damn ass.
You might.
Just to prove a point.
You just might.
My father lived to 90. Right? My mother made it to 91.
And you're not married.
Yeah, that's right. So less tourists there.
Mm-hmm.
I could walk outside at 2 o'clock this afternoon, get hit by a Mack truck on the street right in front of my building here. So, just enjoy life. Yeah. That's my message for everybody. Enjoy it while you're alive. Because, the alternative isn't so pleasant. Speaking of that, speaking of Iraq, a suicide bomber struck a funeral. See, I think if you're going to, do it at a funeral, like at a funeral home, because at least then you don't have to move the bodies too far.
Right, they're already in the mood.
Right. Suicide bomber struck a funeral in Baghdad today, killing at least 7 there as militants show increasing defiance to that major security operation in the capital, Gornish-Telfin. The attacker, wearing a belt packed with explosives, followed a funeral procession into a tent before detonating the blast in the mostly Shiite district of eastern Baghdad. At least 15 people were injured. In other bloodshed across Baghdad today, a car bomb and a suicide attacker killed at least 11 people. So we're talking about 18 dead so far today. And the day ain't over yet. It's what? It's about... about 6 o'clock at night over there now? They're about 8 hours ahead? Yes. More than 100 people have been killed in the Baghdad area since Sunday in a direct challenge to the efforts by U.S. and Iraqi forces to restore some authority on the streets and give the embattled government some breathing room. Give us some breathing room, please. No, we won't do it. And it goes on with the details. A suicide attacker drove a bomb-laden car into a vegetable market, and now there's a lot of vegetables laying all around. A lot of dead people over there, George W. A lot of blood on this man's hands, and the American public doesn't give a crap. They could care less. They want important things. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. You know what that means, don't you? Is tomorrow the episode of Real World Denver that I want to see?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do about what's going on in Iraq? Is there anything I can do about it personally?
No.
I've been screaming about it. I told you all about OIL and MONEY. I told you that right from the very beginning of the Iraq attack, and nobody pays any attention to me, and not that we could do anything anyhow, and that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, as Walter would say. Let's bring back Walter Cronkite. He's still alive. You know, that's a miracle.
Yeah, it is.
That he's still alive. And he's still fairly, lucid. You know, every now and then, Larry has him on. It's about the only guy Larry can bring on who's older than Larry. And they snap each other's suspenders and squeeze each other's bag. Now, that's a part of the thing. Now, how about that for the poll today? Well, first, let's take care of the poll yesterday. Okay, let's take care of one poll at a time. Although I could probably handle simultaneous. Poll yesterday, gay people are born that way, 767, almost half, 1,620 votes. And, of course, that's the correct answer. Gay people are fine with me, 405. In other words, I don't really know if they're born, if they're, twisted, but they're okay with me, 405. Right. They never attacked me. Gay people choose that life, 122, 7.5%. Must be all Republicans. Gay people love Tim Hardaway, 89, but they don't love his car wash, which they're boycotting and creating some tourists for him, and deservedly so. He's a dumb, illiterate jock who's entitled to be a bigoted jackass, but you know something? At least we can call him a bigoted jackass. You're dumb, Tim. You're a schmuck. Gay people, I hate this poll, 58, 3.5%. Gay people want me, 52. Like you said, definitely swishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
They want me. I'm so hot. Right. Gay people are all flamers.
Flaming.
50. Gay people wish they were straight.
About 30, man.
30 people say gay people wish they were straight. You should live so long. You know what that's like? That's like saying everybody wishes they looked like me.
Yeah.
And, of course, speaking personally, if everybody wished they looked like me, I would just jump off the balcony. See, that's the one thing about wanting somebody else or seeing really hot-looking people is that at least they're there. You can appreciate the fact that they're there, even if you can't touch them or squeeze them or do them or whatever. At least they're there and you can, oogle at them. Like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mar Foley would go, Whatever happened to Miss Foley? Is she still in rehab?
Oh, boy, won't see him no more.
Still getting the cure?
We're not going to be talking about him anymore. It's bad for business.
No.
Their
gay
business.
people are easy to spot, 27. Sure they are. And gay people scare me. 20. 20 said that. That's kind of amusing. It's very amusing when you deal with a lot of ignorance, you know? Stupidity. Ignorance is bliss. Oh, speaking of ignorance, there's Hillary.
To me, the most important thing now is trying to end this war.
Trying to get your ass out of the race. That's what the most important thing. And get Barack in there, he's going to, you'll see. It's not going to be easy. He's got a lot of hurdles to hop over.
Hey, your mouth to God's ears.
I hope so. Here's today's poll. And again, send in. We got a zillion polls that have been sent in. I'm going to start using them all. Because the last one I did was the body wash. Well, the gay thing, too. Where did that come from? No, that was sent in.
Yeah.
I think I may have added to it or whatever, but I think it was sent in. The thing I hate most about growing old is 705 votes so far. I won't be able to afford to live, 177. The Winky won't work, 92. Well, wouldn't that be bad? I am old, 77. That's what I voted for, but again, it's all relative. I am old, as compared to what I was, say, yesterday. Well, what is old in South Florida? 70? 65?
50.
50 is old? Woo! Not in South Florida, man. Anyway, I am old, 77. Everything droops, 75. It sure does. Everything droops. Starts hanging down. Like that song by the Kingston Trio, Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley. I can't believe that you sent me a Short Fat Fanny. It's on my iTunes now, and I got to stick it in my iPod
there
before
you go.
the day is out.
Pod it
Thank
up.
you so much. Huh?
I said pod it up.
Hair growing in my ears, 69. Now that I don't like it, and it does happen. It is, I got to get my trimmer there, the one that Brittany stole to shave her head, the one I used to shave my head, and I got to get it right there in my ear. hair growing in your ears. In fact, hair starts more as hair from your nose and just all kinds of funky stuff starts going
places.
on. Right. All kind of little things start popping up on your head. Hair growing in my ears, 69. I hate this poll, 60. 8.5%. Well, shame on you. Nothing. I'm looking forward to it, 51. Oh, well, what is that?
A lie?
They're looking forward to growing old? And now, in a way, I could understand that because, at least if you grow old, that means you didn't make the alternative. You're not dead. But I'm looking forward to getting old. I got news for you. Bad thinking, 51. Take it from me, not a good idea. Not that I feel old or anything. I feel just like me, I feel whatever I can. Thing I hate most about growing old is I poop my pants, 51. In my case, I don't think that's a byproduct of age. I think that's just a byproduct of my intestinal lack of whatever, I just have gastrointestinal problems. I've had that for years. Just like you should know. You've got, what did you tell me? You've got IBS?
Stomach, whatever it is. I don't know.
Stomach issues?
Chronic heartburn thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine why that he's sitting there eating, talking and eating at the same time. Eating Howie's, no less.
Yeah, that's great.
Young chicks won't like me anymore, 47. Of course, the assumption is they did it in the first place, 47 say the word. And my kids will stick me in a home, only 7. I never really thought about that. Because I don't have any kids, number one, but I do have friends who, I don't know, they could probably... Is there something like that? Is that like the Baker Act thing? I mean, is it possible for your friends to stick you in some kind of a home? I don't think so. Do they have legal authority to do that?
Well, that's if you give them legal authority.
Well, I'm not doing that. I might give them a lot, but I'm not giving them that. Stick my ass in a home. Like, what's her name? Like Sarah Goldfarb.
Oh, yeah.
712 votes on the poll about growing old. And those people say, oh, nothing, I'm looking forward to it. Right. All I can say is, sure you are. 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM.
Do you have what it takes to be a Niels Will? If you do, you will. Sport Hole Radio 560 WQAM invites you to listen and win with the 560 QAM Niels Will contest. Simply cut and paste someone else's profile and pick to MySpace. Or in 50 words or less, write why you should be a Niels Will on the back of a postcard and send it to WQAM Studios in the McAllister Hotel. Then, when you hear this sound, that's your chance to inherit millions, perhaps even billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
All contestants must be male, no younger than 18, no older than 25. Must be shaven and smooth. Judges reserve the right to eliminate contestants based on a Brady-Quinn similarity rating scale of 1 to 10. Runners-up will receive an autographed duplicate of Niels Will, suitable for framing. Any duplicates of Niels Will found under your windshield wiper in the parking lot will be voided by law. All prizes will be awarded by Michael Anthony, and the grand prize winners are asked to be patient for an indefinite period of time until Neil decides to die.
10:18 at 560 WQAM. I noticed we ran an extra legal ID there, which is good. You can never run too many legal IDs, Chris.
Yeah, I meant to do disclaimer. Oh, well.
That's okay. Not a problem. I'd rather have the legal ID than that stupid disclaimer. Oh, the opinions and the phlegm on this show got nothing to do with the Beasleys, As if they don't know already. We don't want nothing to do with him. The greatest ID, maybe not the greatest, but my favorite radio station ID was WKNR in Detroit, which really, the station was licensed to Dearborn, which is a suburb of Detroit. A lot of Arabs, by the way, in Dearborn. A lot of Muslims.
What's up with that?
But the ID used to be WKNR Dearborn with offices in the Sheraton Cadillac, Detroit. And, of course, the offices were like a P.O. box, like a mail drop. Or female drop. That was the offices.
Ever see a mail drop?
It made it sound more like it was a Detroit station. Boy, that was a great station. Keener 13. Those were the days, man. See, this business sucks. This business is all done. It's over. It's over. We'll get to the story about the XM and Sirius. Have we had any faxes of that yet?
No.
Although I did mention it yesterday, and we were way ahead of everybody on that, as usual.
Breaking news.
That's right. We're way ahead of the whole world. But here's an interesting story that somebody faxed in, no less. Thank you, Brian. It's not our friend Brian. It's a different Brian, not Chicken Neck. Bucharest, Romania. So you know what that makes me think of, Bucharest, Romania?
Prague?
No.
Dracula?
Yeah. We are going to the castle.
By the way, thank you, Steph.
Oh, Steph got you a new monitor?
Well, by new, we mean old, but it works and it
He got
fits.
you a working monitor. I shouldn't say new.
We found an old monitor laying around that works.
Yeah.
And so I'm back in business as soon as this thing reboots.
Speaking of this poll we're doing today about being old, how many years have you been calling me the old man? I think I was like 30 or something when you started calling me the old man.
That's right. It's a relative term.
I see. As old as compared to you. Pretty soon I'll be old as compared to everybody. Well, not if I'm still on the air in South Florida. That's one of the good things. You're never old.
Josh Cordes used to call me the not quite so old man.
I see. Josh Cordes, by the way, got his Flavor Wave oven courtesy yours truly today. Now, did he say anything? He didn't come in here and, give me a big kissy-kissy?
He made all kinds of sick, disgusting sexual sounds.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you.
Made all kinds of slurping, sucking
what
sounds.
Was that? That was
gross.
Chris.
That was Josh.
No, that was Josh.
What?
Josh is over here having his breakfast.
Oh, he's in there.
So
he's in there eating our free food.
He's having bacon and
probably
flakes.
Warming it up on the Flavor Wave. You don't have to thank me. It's just an act of love. As somebody we know would say, it's a labor of love. Is that what Eric always says
Josh
about our
has
website?
cereal and bacon together in the morning.
I hear he's a cereal eater.
He calls it bacon flakes.
Yeah, well, he provides the flake part. Well, I hope you enjoy it and have a lot of wonderful meals with your Russian girlfriend. Bucharest, Romania. See, that helps get the phlegm out of your throat. I never thought about that. Like that. A Romanian priest who led a days-long exorcism ritual. Oh, gotta have a little sound effects on this, too. That's my bad.
That the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
A Romanian priest who led days-long exorcism rituals for a young nun that ended with a woman's death was sentenced yesterday to 14 years in prison.
The power of Christ compels you.
Oh, I like that little lash there. That way. Remember when her stomach was getting all ripped open?
Mm-hmm.
And remember the one scene? I'm trying to remember at what point in the movie where who played the mother?
Sarah Goldfarb.
No, in The Exorcist.
Isn't that the same person?
Oh, it is. You're right. It is Sarah Goldfarb. Boy, we are getting old. Anyway, whoever played Sarah Goldfarb in Requiem, that's the one who played the mother. Anyway, she pulls back the sheets, and it says on her chest, on her belly, on Linda Blair, it says, "Help me." Remember that?
Sure.
4 nuns were also sentenced in the case. The dead nun, Marsica Irina Cornici, believed she heard the devil talking to her.
The power of Christ compels you.
She was treated for schizophrenia, but when she relapsed, Daniel Petru Coreganu, a monk who served as the priest for the secluded Holy Trinity Covenant in northeast Romania, and 4 other nuns tried exorcism.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
See, whatever his name is, Josh, he could be enjoying some delicious pea soup right now if we were having an exorcism in the studio, along with his flakes. Cornici, 23, was tied up for several days at the... This doesn't make any sense. Several days without food or water and chained to a cross. All right. She died of dehydration, exhaustion, and suffocation. Huh.
The power of Christ compels you.
The court in the northeast city of Vaslui convicted Cornegeu and the nuns of holding Cornici captive, resulting in her death. One of the nuns, Nicoletta Araliniu, was sentenced to 8 years in prison, and the other 3, and it's got the names which I'm not going to waste my time with, received 5-year sentences. Dozens of Corriganos supporters packed the courtroom and prayed for the priest. Several burst into tears when the verdict was announced. 14 years in prison. The defendant's lawyers plan to appeal.
The power of Christ compels you.
Cornici's death prompted Romania's dominant Orthodox Church to promise reforms, including psychological tests for those seeking to enter monasteries. Speaking of somebody who needs a psychological test.
I've asked him to ensure that...
Oh, my God. The Orthodox Church, which has benefited from a religious revival in recent years, condemned the ritual at the Covenant as abominable,
The power of Christ compels you.
and banned Corrigan from the priesthood and excommunicated the 4 nuns from the church. In 1999, when the Vatican issued its first new guidelines since 1614 for driving out devils...
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, we're sending them all to New Jersey.
The power of Christ compels you.
Good place for them, by the way.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, one more time.
The power of Christ compels you.
Thank you. It urged its priests to take modern psychiatry into account in deciding who should be exorcised. I could use a little exercise myself. I'm going out for a long walk right now. I'll be back at about 1:55. Orthodox churches also regularly perform exorcism rituals, but Corriganos' methods were criticized by church officials as excessively harsh, noting that he had dropped out from the church's religious education program. Well, if you're going to have an exorcism, don't have some dropout do it on you. That's the lesson I hear. QAM, hello. Not there, and it's probably a good thing. You never know, though. WQAM, hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Couple things. Ellen Bernstein was the mother in
Thank you. That's correct.
Yeah.
She's a great actress, yes.
But I know she also played Goldfarb. About being elderly and somebody taking you away. Anybody can call the abuse hotline. It's for abuse and neglect if they think an old person is, like living with 19 cats or being abused by
cats.
Right. But
or pooping on the floor, stuff like that.
Yeah. So if that's going on in your place up there, be careful.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw the cats off the balcony right now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey.
Yes.
Neil. Never mind. I'm out. Bye.
See ya. He wanted me, man. Could you tell? He was trying to. Yeah, he wanted me badly. I love you, Pally. 758 votes on today's poll. Boy, sure. If I could just get to the last remnants of this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like with a shovel. If I could just stick that shovel down my throat and just shovel away, shuffle off to Buffalo would be good for somebody, not for me. 1,214 friends on MySpace, by the way. Now, let me just say this. The fact that there are people who voluntarily live in Buffalo and upstate New York, that tells me that there's a real problem with the human race.
Hiya, Pally!
It's straight from the Vatican. Introducing New Catholic Light, the religion with 1/3 the guilt of your regular faith. New Catholic Light satisfies your need for Christianity, but it doesn't fill you up with a lot of doctrine.
More fulfilling! More fulfilling!
With Catholic Light, there's no confessions, no sermons, and no lingering afterlife. It's the perfect alternative for modern agnostics who don't want to take any chances. Our services are held 3 times a year, and they're only 15 minutes long. Plus, there's no added guilt for sneaking out during communion. We've dropped that, too. Look for our churchmobile in your neighborhood. Hey, you might be in the front pew. For ye of little faith, try Catholic Light, because a little faith is all you need.
1031. How about some tefillin, man? That would be really good. 770 votes on the poll. We'll make 1,000 today, even though this is not one of those rock'em sock'em kind of polls. One of those really knock down, drag out, get all whipped up to a frenzy, like the body wash thing, for example. That's pretty controversial. I guess. I mean, it should be automatic. It's like saying, do you get out of bed in the morning? Will the sun shine again somewhere? Something like that. Really controversial.
The sun will come out
tomorrow. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Great.
I hope you feel better with your throat. A small grandmother recipe, which I use over the years. You probably from your childhood. It's a cup. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Full cup of the hot milk. Full tablespoon. Of the real butter. Full tablespoon of the honey. Mix it up and sip it.
Okay, mix it up and sip it. Okay, I'll be mixing it right now. Okay, what was he saying? Butter and honey and something like that. I don't know.
I thought he said sniff it.
Yes, sniff this, okay, pal?
Rectum.
Yeah, sniff it. If you have a strong constitution, which America used to have before Bush. 774 votes on the poll. Now, my throat is fine. I just have the remnants of the phlegm from the ass end of a cold. There's nothing worse than the ass end of a bad cold. Although this wasn't even a bad cold. This is a bad story, though. This is very sad. A 3-year-old girl died this morning after being run over by her family's car in the driveway of her Dania Beach home, according to the BSO. The accident happened about 8 o'clock this morning in the 100 block of Northwest 13th Avenue. Both the girl and her mother were outside in the driveway. Their names haven't been released. Though details remain sketchy, the mother may have sent the girl back inside the family's one-story duplex to put on a jacket, said Elliot Cohen, BSO spokesman. Is it chilly this morning still?
No, it's cool. Nice and cool. Very nice. T-shirt weather.
So, in other words, the little girl didn't really need a jacket.
No, not really.
And if she wouldn't have gone back inside, she'd still be alive. I don't want the mother to feel bad, but, if you'd quit being overbearing. There's nothing worse than an overbearing mother. Just ask me. Or George. He'll tell you.
Nels. Don't forget your galoshes, Nels.
Oh, brother. Somehow the girl ended up behind the red sedan, which went into reverse. The child was run over and rushed to Memorial Regional Hospital in Hollywood. She was pronounced dead. An investigation is underway to determine exactly what happened. On Monday night in West Dade, a 4-year-old boy was killed when he fell out of his mother's car and was hit by a sports coupe. Police are still looking for the driver in that incident. Boy. Tell you one thing, I think there's a moral in all these stories. The best plan is stay inside. Don't leave the house, right? Unless you got all those cats running around.
Or
so that was a little bit
in the car seat
disconcerting what that guy
idea.
said. I should have asked him. I should have asked him what the relationship has to be with the people before they can have you committed or whatever he said.
Right.
In other words, if it's just somebody out on the street who thinks you're a crazy person or somebody who's your close personal friend or whatever, and they just decide they're going to call and have you put away. Oh, he's crazy. He's crazy.
Even if they're a total stranger.
Don't you start with that stranger stuff again. Now, are we ever going to get that clip or not? My close personal friend Brandon was going to get me that, but I'm sure he's still working on it.
Taping every day.
I got you all that other good stuff, which you said was tinny sounding, by the way, and he's very upset about that.
Right. Still love you, Brandon.
He's working on it, and the clip too.
He's a stranger.
I tell you, I think she's taken over Larry's show because he's got her on like every other night now. Even though we can't stand him.
I've watched that show.
Bag.
She did take over.
Well, she's on a lot, I'll tell you that. She was on again the other night, although I didn't watch it.
I missed it, too.
I don't like her as a guest, I mean, I do like her on her show when she's bitching people out, but as a guest, what do I care what she thinks about Ann and Nicole? I know there are legal ramifications there, but what do I care? But,
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. It's a miracle that yesterday, a block from entering 836 on 57th Avenue, you saved my day by not entering into that nightmare. Well, you're welcome. How do you like that? Because I went on the air and I gave the thing. And, of course, we don't have a news department here at QM because unless it has to do with sports, nobody could possibly care about it. So we have no news department. So, naturally, we weren't going to give you any information about the traffic mess on 836 because of that wreck. So I saw it on CNN. I put it on the air. And here's somebody nice enough to fax me and say, thank you that you saved my day by not getting me on that tonight. And then there's some other stuff on here. Attached are a couple of articles on birth order and being gay. While the results substantiate a small percentage in gay men, it clearly shows to be biologically driven and not a choice. We all have a family member somewhere in or out of the closet. Biologically driven, not a choice. Amen. Well, that's obvious. 2, Raquel Milgo, formerly Milgo. Oh, look at that, lavender. I wonder what that means, lavender. Gay. Raquel Milgo, formerly Milgo Electronics, they were pioneers in software and hardware of modem technology. Wow. Remember I was talking the other day about when I first moved out to Plantation Acres, the only thing out there was Raquel Milgo?
Must have been on Friday.
Was it really?
Well, I don't remember.
How I watched them build the Sawgrass. Oh, yeah, well, it must have been on Friday. We're talking about what the hell's the big deal. I keep asking that question, and nobody can answer me that because nobody who lives in South Florida actually goes to the Sawgrass.
Right.
It's all the Brazilian turistas, I guess. I don't know what the big
must be the ad campaign they're running in those places.
I would say the one thing I do like is the food court, the one that's got Nathan's in it. Not because the food court's so great. I just like Nathan's. Don't you?
I like Nathan's.
Nations? For a quick poll that says when Sid... Oh, no. Oh, this is horrible. And then George writes, trust me, you don't want the other 4 pages with this poll.
No, it's the article. The other 4 pages of the article that they're talking about, and it's... ponderous from Wikipedia. You don't want.
Oh, about birth order and being gay?
Yeah.
Being biologically driven? Yeah. Listen, I already know that, and I'm not going to sit here and try to convince people, because the people out there who want to use their own ignorance as an excuse for bigotry, they're going to continue doing that. Oh, it's a choice. You chose to be gay. Right, okay, whatever you say. If it makes you happy to believe that, if it substantiates your hate and your intolerance and your stupidity, great, more power to you. For a quick poll, I don't think I really want to read this about your member when you're taking a dump on the toilet. Drop it inside the bowl and forget it. Rest it on the toilet seat and forget it. Oh, geez, I'm not even reading the rest of that.
Yeah. God. How about just forget it?
Yeah, forget it, I think, is a good part. This caller, this faxer, this person was doing really well, thanking me for avoiding the mess, and then he just turned my life into pure instant crap with that whole thing about what do you do. I mean, it's just hang down your head, Tom Dooley, I think, again, is the operative answer. 786 votes on the poll. The thing I hate most about growing old is... I think we left an operative one out.
What's that, dying?
Yeah. Getting close to death. Don't you think that would be good?
Sure.
Getting close to death. I don't feel close to death, though, today. In fact, if you were to ask me, aside from the phlegm, the very last remnants of this cold, which will be gone by tomorrow, but if you were to ask me, I would say I feel no different now than I was when I was, like, say, 50. Since you think 50 is old. I don't feel any different. Well, no, there's that old stupid cliche. You're only as old as you feel.
Right.
Yeah, my response to that is feel this, But I don't feel a day over 50.
I don't feel a day over 17.
Well, good for you. 786 on the pool. We'll make the 1,000 today. I was a little worried about that. Had a really slow start because it's a crappy pool. No, I shouldn't say that. Somebody sent it in. Don't ever knock a pool that somebody sent in because then they'll never send another one. They take it personal. I won't be able to afford to live 195. Well, start saving right now, okay? Put away some money. All you young punks out there, trust me when I tell you. Oh, no.
Wow, that sounded like a fall.
You know what it was? It was my cable box.
Uh-oh.
It just slugged right off the top of the... Because I was being very emphatic, and I didn't hit it that hard. I hit the counter here, and it just slid off the top of my little Citizen TV right on the floor. But it's okay. It'll be fine. Picture's still there. I won't be able to afford to live 195. Put some money away, George.
Yeah.
The Winky won't work. The Winky or the Wonky, 103. I am old, 84. Oh, I am. Everything droops, 82. Hair growing in my ears, 76. Like a forest growing in your ears. It just, all the scissors, all the tweezers, yanking. Young chicks don't like me anymore, 64. And they probably don't now anyway. I hate this poll, 64, 8.1%, not good. Nothing, I'm looking forward to it, 57 crazy people. I pooped my pants, 55, also not good. And my kids will stick me in a home, 7. And if they don't, some stranger out on the street, or maybe Judge Judy will do it.
Thank you, baby.
Attorney General Janet Reno has purchased a red Ford pickup truck.
Hi, I'm Janet with abs of granite. Today I've got my traveling companion, a legal alien Paco, by my side. Hola, muchacha. Paco is my full-time houseboy and part-time love slave. Hola, muchacha. He'll be riding shotgun with me till we hit Florida. Then I'm going to dump his tight little can in Miami and push him off with a volleyball and an inflatable Super Bowl chair. I need some me time. It's all about Janet and the open highway. I've grown weary of Paco anyway. Hola, muchacha. He's been leaving his stinky cigars all over my apartment, trying to convince me to do a Monica Lewinsky for him. That's not for me. I told him, hey, Paco, that's an exit. Hola, muchacha. Plus, I got a shot at hooking back up with Ellen now that old phony baloney Ian is out of the picture. Nothing like rambling down an interstate to clear your mind. Hola, muchacha.
Be looking for Janet Reno's red Ford pickup truck traveling the countryside later this month.
10:46 at 560 WQM. Let's take a look at that schedule. Mad Dog at 2. Power Hour with Hank and the Mad Dog together. Of course, Humper's back today. And then he'll be on solo 5 to 7, Hank Goldberg. Panther preview at 7. The Panthers to play the Lightning in Tampa Bay at 7:30. And then overnight, of course, it's the unctuous ESPN radio. Guess who died?
Who died?
Somebody you never heard of, but remember we played Short Fat Fanny yesterday? And in the song, it was like Jim Dandy to the rescue. Jim Dandy was by, was it Laverne Baker did Jim Dandy? I don't know.
I can look it up.
Jim Dandy to the rescue. Well, I beg your pardon?
I'll look it up.
Oh, go ahead. William Dandy, a 35-year Broward School administrator. What is it?
I don't have no Jim Dandy.
I'll find it. A 35-year Broward School administrator became one of the first principals as a predominantly white school. Died this morning of a brief illness. Family member said he was 79. Mr. Dandy began his career in the Broward School system in 58 as a guidance counselor at Dillard High. Then an all-black school in a segregated Fort Lauderdale. You know, Fort Lauderdale was a really, really bigoted place. You do understand that, don't you?
Wasn't everywhere?
Well, I guess, but I mean, I'm talking about for a very long time. In fact, it was like Goyish heaven was Fort Lauderdale. The Goyim moved there to get away from the Jews who were predominantly in Miami Beach, and they moved there to get away from the blacks, and they moved there to get away certainly from your people, the Julios. And of course, that didn't work out too well. Is there any part of Data Broward now that your people haven't, like, I don't want to say overrun, that would sound like a very sarcastic term, but they haven't just like I mean, like, you know what I mean?
No. And we're on our way to Canada, too.
Well, guess what?
Enjoy it while you can.
The RCMP will be right there at the border, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know too many Cuban hockey players. There's that Manny Fernandez.
Not yet.
Whatever his name.
Just wait.
811 votes on the poll. We'll make 1,000, and Chris is pretty astonished because we had a very weak start. A second U.S. aircraft carrier has arrived in Middle Eastern waters as promised by U.S. President Bush in January amid an escalating crisis with nearby Iran over its nuclear program. You'll be pleased to know, by the way, that my my digital cable box is back on top of the TV, and there's no problem. See, now that everything, they started calling things solid state, which meant that they used like transistors instead of tubes, you know?
Right.
Cube!
For example, and this is another thing when you get to be an old fart like me, you remember things that a lot of you younger punks you find incomprehensible. Like, for example, when's the last time either one of you had the TV repairman at the house?
I beg your pardon.
Right.
When was the last time? When was the first time?
Exactly. How about you, Chris? You ever have a TV repairman?
About 6-8 months ago, yeah.
For what?
48-inch widescreen.
No, I don't mean for what kind of TV. I mean for what problem.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
You have a 48-inch widescreen TV?
Yeah.
HD?
HD ready. Yeah, I don't have the box
HD
yet.
ready, my ass. Come
Well,
on, HD
I'm not rich
ready.
enough to have the box.
Come on,
so.
man. That's like saying. Go ahead.
It was overheating or something like that, so the guy had to come in and switch something out.
He switched it? But you got to admit, like George, who's 100 years old, he's never had a TV repairman.
No, we just used the pliers like everybody else.
But back in the day, when we used to have all those
tubes
in the TV,
they'd
before
burn
we
out.
had like, huh?
They would burn out.
The tubes would burn out.
Huh.
And so, you know, the TV would go on the fritz and you'd go into a panic. Oh, gee, what do we do now? I have to call a TV repairman. And he would come and open it up, and almost every time it would be some kind of a
tube.
Once in a while, it'd be the picture tube. No, I don't want to get into a big because I'm totally ignorant about these sets that we have today. Although I do know that my 46-inch HD set in the other room, my Samsung, that there's a thing, you know, it's got a main bulb.
Okay.
That lasts for I don't know how long. Hopefully a lot longer. And there's you can see where you just unscrew a thing, and there's like a panel, and you just unscrew like a light bulb, and you buy a new one and put it in there, which I think is about $500, whatever. But they last for a couple of years, I think, or more than that.
Okay.
But that's what used to happen all the time when you had a TV.
Right.
And the horizontal hold. When's the last time the horizontal hold on your TV gave out? Do they even have those? I don't think that we even have those on TVs anymore, do we?
I don't know.
Those knobs?
The V hold and the H hold.
Yeah, the vertical hold, the horizontal
right.
hold, and the picture would like go like sideways, and then it would like start rolling,
when you,
like CCR rolling. You know?
If you buy, you know what they have them on is like we bought a little battery operated for the Hurricane kind of TV.
Yeah.
And it had that stuff going.
Did it?
But other than that, no, I've never seen one.
Well, what kind of a TV in the year 2007 has got a vertical hold button and a horizontal hold? Because it just doesn't happen.
Right.
The picture just doesn't keep rolling and rolling because we made all these advances. So the point being that when they drop this box on the floor, nothing will go wrong because it's all like got transistor sisters inside or whatever it's got. Are they even transistors or is it beyond that? Am I way behind the times?
No, I think there are still transistors in there.
Wow. Boy, am I on top of stuff or what? I got a lot of gadgets and gizmos. I have no idea how they work. And you know what? What difference does it make? As long as you know how to diddle them, what difference does it make?
That's right. That's why we have engineers like Steph who fixed this monitor in here. All during a commercial break. What a whirlwind operation, too.
I thought you said he brought in an old crappy one that just happens to still be working.
Yeah, but you know how these monitors are hooked up. They were like all these wires and everything. There was stuff in them, through them, and everything. And he tore everything apart, got the shop vac.
Nice going, Steph, man.
Vacuumed up all the crud and the dust and replaced it all in 4 minutes flat.
You know, one of my favorite calls of all time yesterday was the guy who obviously must work like he must be Maddie Bell's boyfriend or something. And he called and said, you know, you've had a problem. You've got a problem with QAM. You've had a problem every station you've been on, Neil. And I said, how long have I been on this station? Too long. That was Maddie Bell's buddy, I guess. He cracked me up. Yeah, it must be me, okay? It's not the business. Don't ask anybody else in this business if they ever had any problem. In fact, there have been several stations I worked at where I wouldn't say I really had much of a problem. WNWS, I was there like 9 years. I think right now I'm tied. I think I was at IOD for 9 years, and W Snooze for 8 or 9, and now 9 plus at QAM. So I think this is my, that's a long time to be on one station. Am I right?
Yeah, it is.
KAT, I was only there 2 years. INZ, I think between INZ and Zeta, I was there like 6, I believe, 6 years. And speaking of radio, which is a piece of crap, the two main U.S. satellite radio providers, which I told you yesterday, Sirius and XM, agreed to merge in stock-for-stock deal that would create, if it's approved, a $13 billion company, including $1.6 billion in debt. And the reason that they had to do this merger is because side by each individually, they weren't going to cut it. And I told you that a long time ago. Remember, people were giving me a lot of crap. Oh, you're wrong, Neil. There's nothing like satellite radio. That's the way of the future. And I kept saying, I don't think too many people, at least not that big of a percentage, are going to pay for something that they can get for free, unless there's really something spectacular on there, over and above Howard Stern. And they aren't. In fact, the two, if you put the two of them together, they got about 7 million customers nationwide. Well, what's 7 million people?
Not
in a country of 300 million people, which is probably like 270 or 260 million adults, what's 7 million people?
Not enough.
Tiny slice of the pie. Under terms of the deal, which has long been anticipated, XM stockholders get 4.6 shares in Sirius. XM and Sirius shareholders would each own 50% of the combined company. Veteran media executive Mel Karmazin, currently Sirius CEO, will be CEO of the combined company, and Gary Parsons, now chairman of XM, will hold the same position in the new company. Both executives will be on the 12-member board of the new company. Each company will get to name 4 additional directors each, and General Motors and American Honda will each get to name a director. The deal will need to win regulatory and shareholder approval. Once received, the companies expect the deal could close by the end of this year. Although the deal will combine the 2 largest U.S. satellite providers into one entity, the companies are likely to argue that the deal will not limit competition in satellite radio space due to competition the companies face from other types of media, including the Internet and devices such as the iPod. Likely story. In a press release, the company said the deal will help create greater programming and content choices, speed up technological innovation, and improve financial performance. The combination will create a company with $15 billion in revenue. Oh, I was wrong about the number. Based on analyst estimates, and about 14 million subscribers. Still a paltry number. Still a very paltry number. I mean, for me, I wouldn't pay. I don't listen to the radio here anyway. And when I'm there, I don't listen to the radio. What am I going to listen to?
Magic.
You see what I'm saying?
Oldies.
Magic. Well, why do I need to listen to Magic when I can talk to Rick Shaw personal on the air here?
That's right.
I don't need to turn on the radio to talk to Rick Shaw,
You could call him at home.
I don't think so. I could write him a MySpace thing. He's one of our friends. We got 1214 on MySpace, and we got 830 votes on the poll about getting old. We didn't add that thing on there about getting close to death, did we?
Did we?
No, we did not. I mean, isn't that the main negative about getting old, besides all the illness and the disease and the phlegm and the rocking and stuff? I would think so. Let's get that on there. 831 votes. And the thing that they worry about most about getting old is not being able to afford to live 205. And you know what? No problem. George will send you a check.
Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Will you vote for me? 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 Will you vote for me?
Yes.
Will you vote for me? Vote for me.
The senator everybody loves, even though no one knows what he does. All the Democrats say, would you please be the guy who runs for the presidency? Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Oh, Barack Obama, 'cause we're really scared of Hillary. Oh, we really love you, and we do too, even though we don't know much about you. No John Edwards, no Wayne McCain. We want someone with an odd last name. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Yeah, yeah. Go Barack Obama, 'cause we can't vote for Hillary.
Will you vote for me? Will you vote for me? Will you vote for me?
Absolutely.
Will you vote for me? Will you vote for me? Will you vote for me? Vote for me.
It's 11:01 at 560 WQAM. Boy, this is the stubborn mung, I guess. The very last remnants of the. It just doesn't want to come out. Okay. How about if you took it like a vacuum cleaner and you stuck it down your throat?
Yeah, and sucked it all out of it.
And you just sucked all the phlegm out of your ducts. How would that be? Or suck the ducts. Anyway, WB, who's one of our very best faxers, says, speaking of TV repair service in the home, do you remember the TV Tube?
Tube!
Testing machines at stores that would allow you to test your TV.
Tube!
After you pull them from your set? I sure do. If a
Tube
tested bad, there was a rack of replacement
Tube
in the compartment below the test unit. Pick the
Tube.
Pay for it, go back to your house and fix your own set. And then he says, damn, I feel old. Plus, he says, P.S., the best part of getting old is that you feel like crap and don't mind the thought of dying. Oh, no. Woo! How do you like that?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Well, I haven't reached that point yet, thank goodness. Thank the Lord. Thank everybody. And you did put getting close to death has got 4 votes already. 846. 846 vote. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Hey, have you tried gargling with warm salt water to get all that mung out of your throat?
That doesn't do it. That's for a sore throat.
No, it's to get the phlegm out. It's to exfoliate all the crap.
Does it exfoliate it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go do that. I'll take a couple hours now, and I'll go do it.
And stay away from the dairy.
Okay.
All right.
See ya. Oh, there's a Jewish guy, okay? He knows his milk and fleshig. Stay away from dairy, man. All that cheese. That's what creates all that extra phlegm. And I'm a cheese man. In fact, you know what I could have for lunch? I could take a slab of cheese and go put some other kind, like a slab of mozzarella cheese and put some cheddar cheese on it and just put them and nuke them and just melt it all together. And just have a big mung fest of cheese. Oh, I love cheese. Not good for you, though, I don't think. Is it?
I don't imagine.
Well, what do you know about it? You a cheese guy? I'm
I
a
love
cheese
cheese.
lover.
What are you talking about? We've had this conversation.
That's why I used to like Dalt so much. I used to have in fact, you know what Crystal has got, and I'm not talking about your wife, I mean the food chain. They've got, well, I'm sure a lot of other places have now too, but I think they were the original ones with the cheese fries.
Okay, yeah.
Man. Now, there's nothing like going through the drive-thru at Crystal in Tampa on Dale Mabry and getting a whole bag full, a whole sack full of those little nasty burgers, you know, little cheeseburgers, and then a bunch of cheese fries.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get on the highway, you just go up the road there on Dale Mabry, and you get on, what is that road?
I don't know.
Oh, brother. It's
Yahoo
been so many
Way.
years. Well, you get on the expressway, whatever it is, and you're eating out of the sack, of course, while you're driving, and you get the cheese fries, you get the goopy cheese, you know, all over your hands and all over your shirt, and then all over the steering wheel of your beautiful Corvette, and you're thinking cheese, you know. It's pretty good, though.
You think of cheese?
It is really pretty good. Yeah, the cheese fries at Crystal. Too bad we do have that one, supposedly. Where is it?
I don't know.
Geez. It's somewhere like in Broward.
It's somewhere.
853 votes, and then we finally got Steak and Shake in South Florida. They have cheese fries also or not? Or I just dreamed that. They have the great shakes.
They do have cheese fries.
Their burgers, unfortunately, aren't all that good because they fall apart. You know, they fall into sections, you know.
What are you going to do?
And then you can have it like all over your shirt and all over your pantaloonies. And, oh, what's that all over your clothes? Oh, a cheeseburger, you know. But their shakes are really great at Steak and Shake, especially like the one there on Sunrise. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yeah, you're talking about the TV tubes?
Yes.
Yeah, we used to get the 6LQ6, which is a horizontal vertical tube.
Yeah.
We used them in the linears for the CB radio. Yeah,
well, that is pretty informative, man. I'm gonna mark all of that down. Was that some heavy duty stuff or what? Woo! Did you mark that down?
What?
I don't know, whatever the hell he said. He had the name of the
tube
and all that stuff, and where he stuck it, and stuff like that. I thought that was extraordinarily entertaining. Maybe he could have his own show on Saturday, right between the No Punches Pood guy and the golf show, to talk about where do you stick your
tube.
WQAM, hello.
Was that some heavy duty?
QAM.
Hey, that was pretty good.
That was great, yeah. It was
That
very
reminds-
informative.
That reminds me, I used to, you could you could go to a drugstore or a place like that, and they had these machines that used to test those tubes.
Really?
And I'm not even that old. I mean, you used to, the TV didn't work. You took the tube out, went to the drugstore, you put it in a machine, and had all those different size holes in it. Told you where the
Facts I
tube.
just read. Right.
Told you where
How
the
old are you?
54.
Oh, well, that's pretty old.
Oh, it is.
Not compared to me, not by my standards, but I mean generally speaking, compared to like Chris and George there.
I had this dream last night about a teepee, and the other night I had a dream about a tent. And I'm sorry, I had a dream about a wigwam. Do you think I'm a little bit too tense?
I thought you were going to say I had a dream about a peepee is what I thought you were going to say. That's not good.
That would have been funnier.
That would have been a hell of a lot more entertaining and not killed as much time. 859 votes on the poll. The poll is about getting old. And don't think that I did this. This is something somebody sent in. I'm not all that worried about getting old. I feel young and spry. 865 votes on the poll. The thing I hate most about growing old is I won't be able to afford to live 213. The Winky won't work 110. Everything droops, 88. I am old, 87 of us, old farts. Hair growing in my ears, 86. That is a good one. In fact, you know something? No matter how often or how quickly you tweeze it out or you shave it out, it just keeps coming back.
I know.
If the hair on your head would grow as fast as the hair in your ears, you'd really have something. Young chicks won't like me anymore, 80. I hate this poll, 65, down to 7.5%. Thanks God. Nothing. I'm looking forward to it. 61, absolutely crazy people. Going back to WB's facts, I would say, for the last 20 years of her life, my mother used to say to me, every time I go over for lunch every Tuesday, she'd say, "Oh, Nels, what's it all about? If I had a gun, I would shoot myself."
And you'd say, "Want me to go buy you one?"
No, I'd say, "You're living right up the street there is 441, all those pawn shops, Ma." But anyway. I pooped my pants, 60. You don't have to be old to do that. Isn't that interesting how, when you're an infant and you got the diapers on and little babies poop their pants, and then when you get to be old again, it's called like going through a second childhood, just like I'm doing now. I've told you that. You keep accusing me of that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
Whatever. That. No, there is nothing wrong with it. I'm enjoying it. My kids will stick me in a home, 8, and getting close to death, 7. I told you about my landlord from Sarasota, the one that said, "Oh, I'm not worried about dying because by the time I get that age, they'll have a cure and people will live forever." Remember that?
How's he doing?
He's dead. Republican presidential candidate John McCain said yesterday the war in Iraq has been mismanaged for years, and former Defense Secretary Rumsfeld will be remembered as one of the worst in history. Easy to say now, Johnny boy. I'll tell you, this John McCain, he gives me spilkies, man. He makes me want to caca. We're paying a very heavy price for the mismanagement. That's the kindest word I can give you of Donald Rumsfeld of this war, the Arizona senator be saying. The price is very, very heavy, kind of like Chris, very heavy, and I regret it enormously, McCain told an overflow crowd of more than 800 at a retirement community near Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
Beautiful
McCain,
place.
What?
It's a beautiful place, Hilton Head Island.
Is it?
It's the only thing beautiful about South Carolina that I've seen.
Oh, you hate South Carolina, being the North Carolina guy that you are?
That's right. You got to go through South Carolina to get there.
McCain, the ranking Republican on the Senate Armed Services Committee, complained that Rumsfeld never put enough troops on the ground to succeed in Iraq. Of course, succeeding, I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to mean. What does succeed mean? Kill all the people that hate each other? Well, I would mean kill everybody, basically.
Kill everybody that won't play ball with us and do what we say and give us all that oil and, goose step.
Croatia probes Hitler likeness and jokes on sugar packets. And there's a picture of Adolf with that. The one thing about him that was funny, I'll say that, is that mustache and the hairdo and the do,
He was a funny guy.
He was a real fashion plate, kind of like me, as a matter of fact. Small packets of sugar bearing the likeness of Adolf Hitler and carrying Holocaust jokes have been found in some cafes in Croatia, prompting an investigation. The Office of the State Prosecutor said yesterday the local district attorney in the eastern town of Požega has opened an investigation and is currently looking into the matter. The Novi List daily newspaper, Novi, you know where Novi is? That's in Detroit. That's like on the way to Wolverine Harness Raceway, Detroit Racecourse, no longer there in Livonia, Novi. The Novi List daily, in fact, there was a great skipper's table. There was a great smorgasbord. I told you this story about how my friend Dar, he was a salesman at the station I worked at.
Mm-hmm.
We would have double headers. We'd go I don't know if I ever worked or anything like that, but on a day off or something, when we both had the day off, we would drive over to Detroit in the afternoon, go to the thoroughbred races at Detroit Racecourse, and then go have dinner at Skipper's Table at the buffet, and then drive over to Hazel Park to the harness racing at night, and lose our ass. The Novi List daily newspaper reported that officials at a small factory in Požega confirmed the sugar packs were produced on their premises. The incident will embarrass the government, which has been keen to play down the country's past links with Nazism. Croatia. I never knew that, did you? I knew that the Austrians were much worse than the Krauts ever were.
Right. I didn't know about Croatia. That's
well, see, we learned something already. It's not even 11:30 yet. We already learned something very muy importante here today. Croatia's Ustasha regime sided with the Nazis in WW2 and enforced ethnic laws under which thousands of Serbs, Jews, and Gypsies, as well as anti-fascist Croats, were killed in local concentration camps 1941 to 45. The Jerusalem-based anti-Nazi Simon Wiesenthal Center said in a statement and it protested the matter to Croatia's authorities. Its director, Efraim Zurov, expressed his revulsion and disgust that such an item could be produced these days in a country in which the Holocaust not only took place, but was for the most part carried out by local Nazi collaborators. If nothing else, this is a disgusting expression of nostalgia for the Third Reich and a period during which Jews, Serbs, and Gypsies were mass murdered in Croatia, it said. And there's a picture of a smiling, smirking Adolf with his arm at that 45-degree angle and that silly-ass mustache. Although he does make a hell of a seasoning, though. Isn't that just MSG, Adolph's meat? Do they still even make that?
Accent. I don't know about Adolph.
Oh, Accent is MSG. That's correct.
That is correct. I love it.
You do?
I sprinkle it on my tongue.
No wonder you're sick all the time. You're using Accent? That's MSG, man. It's monosodium glutamate.
I love MSG. It makes my teeth tingle.
God.
Poor man's acid.
In fact, if you sit on it,
rectum.
Wow. Talk about a tingle. 870-86 on the pool. And leave it to South Florida, man. Nobody in South Florida wants to get old.
Oh, God, your breasts are beautiful.
Absolutely.
Huh?
This is the end of Backstreet.
All right.
After this tour is complete, we realized it was bad that we were older than most of your dads. Kids are saying we stink. They'd rather see and sing. Oh yeah. Because Nick has got such a tude, and AJ, he can be really rude. Two went down the aisle, how he can be vile. Now the Backstreet Boys are breaking apart.
So what about that great reality TV show there with Nick and Aaron Carter that was on for about 2 weeks? Is that thing still on?
I don't even know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, they had their own show where they were like living together and they were like, huh?
I'm glad I blinked and missed that.
Oh yeah, that was on for about 5 minutes and then it went off. I think is Throwing Up Daddy still on also?
I don't know.
Boy, there is so much crap on now. I hate to say that. And of course, when you've got a good cable system like I've got, and you got 800 channels on my Rogers cable system, named after yours truly. When I came up here, they renamed the stadium the Rogers Center. You know.
Oh God.
Cable company Rogers.
Oh God.
All of these things. See, they really they give you your due as opposed to South Florida. And you realize we're like only 9 days away from that big day from March 1st? March 1st, 1976, Neil Rogers comes to WKAT, 1360 on the dial. Catch the cat to do 3 to 6 in the afternoon. And the average age of our listening audience was death plus 10. Talk about getting old. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. And, of course, the only people we had listening who could hear the signal of KAT were the old Jews on Miami Beach. Now, you even remember those days.
I do.
Back before Art Deco and before South Beach and all this other stuff.
About that. Used to be little kids. Used to be just old people rocking on the rocking chairs there in the building.
That's right.
Apart.
That was our audience.
Hello, Neil.
And now I'm one of them. But like I told you back then, and I'm still saying the same thing now. And I think I lived up to my promise. I'm never going to become like them. I'm never going to become bitter. Just because, chronologically you've reached a certain age doesn't mean you have to act your age. It's one thing to act your age when you're like, 15 instead of acting like 10, What does that really mean, act your age? Parents say that to their kids all the time. Come on, quit doing that, act your age.
And it means stop doing whatever it is that you're doing at the moment.
I see. Well, then why don't you act your age, Ma? Instead of acting like some kind of an emotional cripple.
That's how they got there in the first place. That's because Mom was acting her age.
I see. That Tom Brady knocking up that chick, I just can't believe that. I always thought he was such a clean-cut guy. That article yesterday I didn't know whether to scream or jump out the window. I mean, a clean-cut guy, so therefore he wasn't having any sex? Is that what defines a clean-cut guy? Is that he's not getting laid?
Not until he's married.
Oh, until he's married. Is that what it is, Chris?
Who knows?
Is that what you're waiting for?
That ain't clean.
No, but I'll be willing to be the father for her child if she likes.
Yeah, I'll bet
I'll
you
help
will.
raise that thing.
Yeah, you'll raise it.
You'll braise
and
it.
Not the kid either. 900 votes on the poll. We're going to make our 1,000 today. We're cricking along, as they say, in Cemetery Village. We're cricking along, moving very, very slowly, as old people tend to do. We're shuffling. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I thought I heard you talking about tubes earlier, TV tubes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that old. I'm like 47, but I remember going to the store with a tube tester. I used to I used the 606 GCs for my Fender amplifier.
Good, yeah. The 600 GCs, yeah. Okay. Stick them in here. Yeah, okay. I can't get rid of this guy. Get rid of him. God. This phone thing, and I'm sure it's the connection between here and there because of the last couple of months. But then again, line 1 hasn't worked in about 2 years now, so why should I worry about that?
Right.
That's the same guy again with his GLC 6 that he was sitting on. You know, probably got it from Joel Feinberg, no doubt. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. Happy 31st.
Thank you.
Upcoming. Neil, you're on pretty good diet, right? You've had pretty good success with them?
No.
You haven't?
With diets?
Yeah, I'm on a new diet called the Slap Off. You heard of it?
Yeah, slap this. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. All the amateur comedians this morning. The guy with the...
Cube.
Yeah, I think that guy needs to have his
Cube.
hide would be a good idea so that he doesn't reproduce. In fact, the thought of this audience reproducing, quite frankly, leaves me a little bit limp, if I can say that. It leaves me very nervous. Although I don't think we have to worry about too many of our chronics reproducing because that's not what they're into, you know, if you catch my drift.
Gay.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Okay, Pally.
All right, listen, being 51 now, I really, it upsets me getting older to think what things used to cost. The 50-cent candy bar was a nickel when we were young.
Yeah.
A milkshake and a hamburger was a quarter, so I don't know if you can use that on your poll, but things used to cost. And wash your produce because they're full of chemicals. Produce man out.
Oh, but at least he only got that in as a closing shot today, the produce guy.
That was great.
Crazy person. But he does have a good point. But then isn't that I won't be able to afford to live? Isn't that like including inflation and all this ridiculous? I remember it used to be like a dime for a comic book.
Right.
Now, how much does a comic book cost now? Do kids buy comic books? I'm sure they do. Obviously they do.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
How much did they cost?
Oh, they were like $1 the last time I remember.
$1?
20 years ago. I think there might be $5. I don't know.
They're about $5, I think, now.
For a comic book.
Get out of here.
Yep.
$5 for a comic book? You got to be kidding me. You're exaggerating. Aren't you making
It
that
might
up?
be. I'll have to go
$5.
buy one. Maybe it's $3.95. Who the hell knows?
Or it could be.
$8.
Could be that.
Could be.
I'll be damned. How about the jawbreakers that we used to get out of those little, and I wonder where all the money really went for all that stuff. You know, the little glass things.
What, the vending machines? Into somebody's pocket,
little glass
I
vending
imagine.
machines. Yeah, probably. They always had a sticker on the machine
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
this goes to the American Legion and to the veterans and the disabled children and blah, blah, blah. And, of course, it did not. You know that. It was just
rich
a scam.
fat guy put it in his pocket. That's
like
what
Sean Canoni there with a homeless voice?
Exactly.
That kind of crap. That kind of scam.
Mm-hmm.
All those glass globes, man, that had the jawbreakers were good. Oh, my God. Just tear. I bet you there. I had one of those not that long ago, a few months ago.
We're still talking about jawbreakers?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm assuming we're talking about the same thing. Now, there were some that were actually like gum inside. After you like sucked them long enough, they were gum.
Yeah.
But the jawbreakers were not. They were like solid, and they had each layer was hot. In fact, sometimes they called them red hots.
They have
right?
Atomic fireballs.
Ooh, man.
Red hots were not jawbreakers. Red hots were those little ones that you'd get in a box, and you'd empty the whole box in your mouth.
Yeah.
And I don't think they make them as hot as they used to. Either that or...
I don't think that's what I was going to say.
Or we've matured.
Because they used to really be...
Blaming.
But if you eat too many that are...
Blaming.
I'm sure that makes you gay. That's probably what happened to me is I ate too many of those damn...
Red Hots?
Jawbreakers.
Oh, okay.
Or Red Hots. Red Hots, actually, in upstate New York, White Hots and Red Hots, which you know thanks to our friend Wayne Arnold. White Hots are like, hot dogs that are like made from pork. They look like bratwurst, but they're White Hots.
Mm-hmm.
And in upstate New York, they call Red Hots either Red Hots or Texas Hots, and I have no idea what that means. Why are they called Texas Hots?
I don't know. They started in Texas?
No, I sure doubt that. Do you think hot dogs started in Texas? Are you a crazy person or what?
Well, yeah, I am a crazy person, but...
I know that. White Hots and Red Hots are Texas. And that was Don and Bob's, baby. Talk about living in the past. God, was that good. My, that was good stuff. And now it's gone. Now there's a damn bank there where Don and Bob's used to be. Right next to my elementary school in Brighton. 907 votes on the poll. The thing I hate most about growing old is I won't be able to afford to live. 222. The Winky won't work. 111. My Winky Wonky. I am old. 91. 10% of us were ancient. Young chicks won't like me anymore, 90. I'm not worried about that. Everything droops, 89. Hair growing in my ears, 89. I hate this pull, 68, 7.4%. Nothing, I'm looking forward to it, 64 suicidal people. I poop my pants, 60. Getting close to death, 15. And my kids will stick me in a home, solamente 8.
New Kids on the Block have been sweeping the country. And now comes Hallandale's answer to New Kids on the Block. It's Geritol music with a message. Old farts in the condo. I tell you, my wife's hair's just not blue enough. Her teeth are bad and she don't chew enough. Decrepit recording artist Old Farts in the Condo with their new smash album, Friends and Enemas. Laxatives, they're so good for you. Sweet and low. Gonna feel some sweet and low. Give me some of them dinner rolls.
We were driving to the restaurant the other day when we found out it cost $1 to valet. So we parked across the street, we walked across the road, then a truck hit my wife and it squashed her like a toad.
Old Farts in the Condo. Catch the tour, buy the album before they expire.
I told you once, I told you twice. No MSG on my fried rice. They raised the price on Polygrip, so I'm sorry I can't leave a tip.
First there were New Kids on the Block. Now Old Farts in the Condo.
I tell you, my wife's hair's just not blue enough.
Old Farts in the Condo. Buy the album Friends and Enemas and get your tickets for the Farts live at any rickety bastard ticket outlet. Another Coffin Door presentation.
What the hell is gummy Coke bottles? I don't know what the hell that is.
Gummy Coke bottles. Candy?
Yeah.
We back in candy?
Gummy Coke bottle is a candy?
Okay. Sounds great.
I don't know. Your close personal friend Brandon is sending me all this stuff, all this information. Since, you know, he's in that age category. He's 24. He says comic books on average are about $5. Some cost as much as $15.
Damn.
And Jawbreakers, at least the huge ones, usually cost depending on weight. Last time I checked, he says, it was $3.99 for a quarter pound. So that's like $16 a pound.
We're still
for
talking about
Jawbreakers.
candy?
I beg your pardon?
Still talking about candy?
And what is gummy Coke bottles? What is that?
I assume it's like gummy bears, but in the shape of and flavor of Coke. Coca-Cola.
Oh,
I know
God.
the shape is. I've never tried those, but I have seen them before. They're
Well, try them. You'll gag on them. Are we getting close to 1,000 yet on the poll? That's all I care about. Once we do that, 919, Old Bean, not too bad.
And you said we wouldn't hit 1,000.
WQAM, hello.
Gummy Coke bottles are great. They're just like the little gummy bears.
Yeah,
but they're in the
that's
shape
what
of a
Georgia
teddy
said.
bear, and they have
Uh-huh.
like some Coke-tasting sugar
Mung.
stuff inside them.
Ooh, gross.
Yummy. Bye.
See ya. Well, that was sweet. That was really sweet, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was cute. Shane Gibson, the embattled Bahamas immigration minister whose friendship with Anna Nicole Smith touched off an island-wide controversy mon, has abruptly resigned from his cabinet post. I've been the target of relentless attacks. My good name has been besmirched. My integrity has been impugned. Oh, I love this. Besmirched and impugned. And my character has been assassinated. Never have so many lies and falsehoods been told, Gibson said late Sunday on state-owned radio and TV in the Bahamas, mon. Although I'm stepping down from the cabinet, I have every intention of continuing my quest to bring the full truth of this matter to the Bahamian people, he added. Gibson's relationship with Smith, the actress whose mysterious death in a Hollywood hotel earlier this month touched off an international custody battle over her baby girl, has stirred controversy in the Bahamas, mon. A week ago, as you well know, photos of Gibson and Smith in a warm embrace appeared in the Nassau Tribune newspaper, sparking allegations that he'd given her special treatments granting her permanent residency in the Bahamas since she did not meet all the necessary requirements. I unconditionally deny that I ever abused my ministerial office by granting Anna Nicole any permit of which she was undeserving or for which she was not qualified under the laws of the Bahamas and long-established immigration policies, Gibson said Sunday. And you know what I say in regard to the whole thing? This should be everybody's biggest problem.
Isn't it?
I guess. After the photos were first published, Gibson appeared live on government-owned ZNS radio and TV with his wife Jackie at his side and said the photos were completely innocent. He denied having any sexual relationship with the celebrity and said his entire family knew Smith and her partner and lawyer Howard K. Stern. Gibson's a member of Prime Minister Perry Christie's ruling Progressive Labour Party, a liberal party, whatever the hell it is, the PLP. At the time of Smith's death, her baby daughter, Danny Lynn Hope Marshall Stern, was staying in the Bahamas with Gibson's mother. Oh, and it goes on and on. I can't take anymore, okay? I don't care which body is hot, which body is warm, which one is the daddy, which one had the Tony. I can't stand no more of that. I'd rather hear about Coke bottle, what is it? Candy?
Okay.
Is that what it's called?
Gummy Coke.
Gummy Coke. Yummy Gummy Coke. I never saw that in my life. Where would you find that? Like in a
bottle caps, yeah.
I beg your pardon?
In a candy place or places that sell a wide variety of exotic candies, like Jackson's Ice Cream, for example.
Well, there he goes they're trolling for more free ice
cream.
We
were there over the weekend, and it was great.
Yeah, Jackson's is great.
We paid.
Well, of course you paid. They're going to give you a schlepper like you. You're going to get free ice cream at Jackson's. Are you crazy?
Well, the guys, when they were in here, they invited me over, but nevertheless, took the family.
That's great. That's a good way to do it. Don't be a schnorrer, man. Don't be a schnorrer. It's too much like South Florida thing. Don't be a schnorrer. If they want you to pay up. Just like Bern Laxer told me. I never believe in trying to pay back a favor with with a freebie is what he was trying to say. Cheap bastard. He's dead now, though. I can say it. Not that I was looking for a freebie. I didn't even know I was going to meet him over there, but he came over and just tinkled all over me like I was the greatest thing since sliced halava. Oh, Mr. Rogers, all the people from Miami that come in here, they all say they heard about us on your show. Ba, 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 ba. And that, as you know, now you've been there, right?
Where?
Vern Steakhouse in Tampa.
No.
You've never been there?
No.
How about you, Chris?
No, sir.
Really?
Tampa's not exactly one of the places I travel to often.
Well, why not? I'm not talking about all the time.
What's
legendary.
in Tampa besides Busch Gardens?
Vern Steakhouse.
And old people.
Crystal. Trailer parks. Rednecks. Inbreds. Yeah, that's one thing about Tampa. Not everybody in that area lives in a trailer park, but they might as well. Isn't that a good way to describe the Tampa Bay area?
Yeah.
The strangest conglomeration of people. I don't know what it's all about. They all look like the people in Nashville, like the product of centuries of inbreeding, I don't say that because the Panthers are playing the Lightning in Tampa tonight. That has nothing to do with it, but they are. Geldy will be on. With the game. Is he going to be on? No, he won't be on TV tonight. That's because Strader does the weekend games on TV for ESPN. And so they get Geldy on TV. And, boy, when he starts speaking on the one thing about an HD set, not only is the picture good, but the audio is sensational. So he gets a really, loud and stereo, it's just really fantastical. 9:24 on the poll. We're going to be very close. We're not going to over 1,000 by the top of the hour, but we'll be closing in on it. You're right, Chris. I should know that when I sit down here every day, no matter how stupid the poll question is, no matter how inane it might be, no matter how lame of a start we get off to, this audience comes through for us. Not necessarily on the phone, just on the poll. Or maybe on the phone poll. WQAM, hello.
Yes, may I speak to Neil, please?
Speaking.
Hey, Neil, are they
Yes, sir.
storing Anna Nicole Smith and James Brown in the same spot?
Yeah.
They are?
No. Oh. And then, the interesting thing about him?
No.
He sounded like an articulate, almost intelligent person, didn't he? I mean, when I punched it up?
No.
Except for the fact that he asked to speak to Neil, which should have,
that
exactly. Should have been a tip-off right in the beginning. That was a little bit of a clue. I wonder where they're storing his ass. 20 till noon. Now, Clarence was in this morning in an incredibly good mood, and I asked him for some programming tips. He said, talk a lot of hockey today.
Neil God.
Absolutely.
96 miles across the sea to the sandy beaches of Miami. That's all it takes to reach it. Say the Taliban. Escape plans, escape plans, escape plans. Took away the rag that was on our head. Now we have to use toilet paper instead. Escape into Miami, next target of attack. A tropical paradise loaded with apathy is where Al-Qaeda should be. They're serving us iced tea and Perrier, but we'd really rather drink our pee. Slash a few throats and seize a boat. Pointed towards Miami and off we go to where the angry Cubans Slaughter their goats and attack, 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 attack. That's our plan, escape plan, escape plan, escape plan. The plan, our plan, escape plan.
11:45 at 560 WQAM. I'm going to tell you something. I think maybe I better have all my close personal friends sign an agreement that they're not going to stick me in a home when I get to be old and feeble and senile, like in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like that. I love doing that on the air now. See, I used to close the mic.
Mm-hmm. No, don't do that.
But then again, it takes away the spontaneity of it. Now that everything is reality TV and reality radio and all that other BS. Well, the phone sure kind of tailed off there. We had a little something going for a while, but we don't want to overdo it. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Is Airheads, is that also candy, or is that, I'm reading some, it is?
Yeah.
And what is Airheads?
I don't know, but it's candy. I've seen it in the candy rack. What happened?
No, I'm just looking at the latest message to explain it. What was it we were asking about? Oh, we were asking about the clip. What clip was it we wanted? Oh, Judge Judy. Now, Brandon didn't respond about that. Maybe he was listening to that part of the show. Or maybe he just tired of trying to find all your crap. I don't know when I want to hear that. You're a stranger! I love that. It's sort of like a fruit-flavored taffy and does a number on your teeth, though, he says.
Correct.
About Airheads? I never heard of that. Well, I don't. In fact, in Amsterdam, well, anywhere you go, there's all these great candy shops, Oh, my God, I don't go in there. In fact, on the Damrak in Amsterdam, there's a place called Jamin. Yamen, I guess you don't pronounce the J.
Jammin?
No, they're not Jammin at Yamen. Yaman. In fact, I think that's how you pronounce it in Dutch. I could be wrong, but I think it's called
Yaman.
Yeah, Yaman. And that's where I get my Ben & Jerry's ice cream. When you walk in the door, right in the front, it's the Ben & Jerry's counter is there. And then in the back, it's just a gigantic candy store. Talk about a kid in a candy store. Mm-hmm. That's me in Amsterdam. Well, that's another story. WQAM, hello. Not there. Bad move. Why don't I just punch up all the ones that aren't ringing? WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
Long-time listener, seldom caller, unless I really have something to say.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I lived in Syracuse. I lived up in Baldwinsville, New York.
I'm so sorry.
Listen, Steve, were you ever on the radio station up there, WHEN, 62 WHEN?
No, but I know the station. No.
You do, home of the heavy Chevy. I could swear I was up there in like 75, 76 going to school. I didn't know if you were already down in Florida, but I thought that you were on the radio station up there. I guess not.
No, sir. 75, I was at WJNO in Palm Beach, and 76, I was at WKAT on Miami Beach. Catch the cat.
Yeah. Neil, feel better? Have a good day, buddy.
Thanks, pal. You
too.
too.
Good listeners out here that appreciate you.
Thanks.
You. Bye.
Well, there's a good guy, even if he is from upstate New York. See, it goes to show you where you're from. You can't control where you were born, A lot of things in life that you can't control. All you can do is just be who you are, be a wonderful person, be all of these...
all of these things.
Yeah, especially if you're in South Florida. In fact, if you're a nice person in South Florida, you stand out like a sore thumb. I think this afternoon I'm going to go into the candy store. There's one right up the street, as a matter of fact. It's like what you were talking about. It's like that Yaman in Amsterdam. That's a chain of places, by the way.
Yaman?
Yaman. It's a chain of candy stores.
Yaman.
And I don't know. I don't dare venture into the back of it, It's one of those places where all the stuff is in jars and you buy it by, you bag it and they weigh it and you pay by the weigh. Just like over in the red light district, you pay by the lay. What is that? Oh, we're going to play the candy rapper this hour? I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, let's play the candy rapper song. And then let's just go home.
Now, what is that?
It's the Candyman, by your favorite.
Candyman?
One of your people.
One of my peepers?
Yeah.
Jewish
Sammy
Davis?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, wait a minute. Kill that.
I was just going to play this.
So seductive. I take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot.
Ooh, I'll take you to the candy shop. Don't ever tell your mom or pop, or they might turn up the top.
What does that have to do with it? I guess you wash the candy down with the Jesus juice. You put a little straw in the can?
I guess.
Candyman. Now, what is this? Sounds like Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons,
You're right about that.
Candy Girl? What did I tell you, Candy Girl? Do I know my Four Seasons or what? And it says, Brandon says, if you love sour candies, try Warheads. Ever have Warheads?
Not lately, but sounds good. I do like sour candy.
You like sour?
Candy. I'm just going to play all the candy songs I have in here.
How about Ray Nagin? Oh, yeah, let's play that instead of this.
Sounds like a moron.
This time.
Every time he speaks.
It's the way God wants it to be.
Yeah, chocolate. He can't even say the word right, chocolate. He's such a moron, and then they reelected him, because he did such a fabulous job. That's the American people for you. They're masochists. The more you screw them over and the more incompetent and ignorant you are, the more they like you. Look at South Florida. Look at all the idiots that kept getting reelected year after year. How about, remember, what was his name, John LaMello in Sunrise?
Okay.
I think he croaked, didn't he? I sure hope so.
Lemongello?
John Lemongello. Many Playboy playmates have died young. Did you know that?
No.
What do you do now? See, it's an educational show for those of you out there, you naysayers, you sayers. The selection of Anna Nicole Smith as a Playboy playmate in 1992 made her a member of an exclusive sorority. Her death at 39 put her in a more grisly club, playmates who haven't reached their 50th birthday. Automobile accidents, drug overdoses, homicide, there's that homicides, a plane crash, all have claimed the lives of playmates. The cause of Smith's death is still unqueer. It's sad how many girls we've lost, said Peter Gowland, who photographed a number of centerfolds for Playboy in the 50s and 60s with the help of his wife. In 68, Gowland photographed Paige Young. In 74, she was dead of a drug overdose. Jane Mansfield, another playmate he photographed, died in a car crash in 1967. She was only 34, and boy, did she have a pair on her.
Yes, she did.
It's a curse to be beautiful, Gowland said. More than 600 women have graced Playboy centerfold since the magazine began publishing in the 50s. Their lives after the magazine have been both in and out of the spotlight, but their limited number in Playboy's wide circulation has meant that the death of one can become bombshell news. Bombshell, baby. Una bomba grande. Perhaps before Smith, the most headline-grabbing death of a playmate was that of 20-year-old Dorothy Stratton. Never heard of her, did you?
Yes.
Just months after she became the magazine's Playmate of the Year in 1980, she was murdered by her jealous, estranged husband. Well, you probably would. She was the Playmate of the Year in 80.
Yeah.
Playboy founder Hugh Hefner said that he and others never really got over Stratton's death. The magazine ran a tribute to her, and movies were made about her life.
There's a picture of her on our wall in here.
Is there really?
As Galaxina.
Eve Meyer, a 55 playmate, was one of more than 550 people killed when two airliners collided on takeoff at Tenerife in the Canary Islands in 1977. She was only 46. More recently, Ellen Louise Maligo, known as in Playboy as Star Stowe, was found murdered at 40 in Coral Springs in 1997.
I didn't do it.
Uh-oh. Sounds guilty to me, didn't he, Chris?
I didn't do it.
He did it.
Yep.
Never heard of it.
Marilyn Monroe, the cover girl for the magazine's inaugural issue, famously died at 36 from a 62 overdose of sleeping pills alleged. She was murdered. We all know that. And now that they got this new footage of Jackie and JFK that they keep showing on all the newscasts, which doesn't really show anything except them smiling in the limo a minute and a half before he got assassinated. And every one of the narrations on the newscast about this is, it shows the Texas Book Depository where Lee Harvey Oswald shot the fatal bullets and blah, blah, blah. And even though they're the conspiracy theories, there is no doubt that Oswald was the lone assassin. Right, your mama, right. This is the kind of brainwashing that goes on in America that's passed off as news.
Maybe the person that shot this new video is the one that actually killed him.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe it was Cock Robin. Or maybe it was just Robin. Tanya Cruz, Carol Willis, a 1970 Playmate of the Year. Claudia Jennings all died in car accidents in the 60s and 70s while still only in their 20s. Playmate Willie Ray, pictured on Playboy's first stock certificates, was 23 when she died of a drug overdose in 73. Boy. 28-year-old Playmate Alyssa Bridges died in 2002 after being found unresponsive in bed. Oh, there's nothing worse than being unresponsive in bed.
I know.
Playboy said she died of natural causes, but a coroner's report said Bridges died of an accidental drug overdose. There have been some that do too much booze and too much drugs, just as in the general population, said former Playboy editor Gretchen Edgren, author of the Playmate book, 6 Decades of Centerfolds. A page on Playboy's website is dedicated to remembering Smith. Perhaps Billy Joel should write a sequel to his song Only the Good Die Young, simply changing the last word to beautiful. Only the good die beautiful. We'll miss you, Vicky. Photo editor Gary Cole wrote on the site's blog using Smith's real first name. That emotional? Doesn't that make you want to just break down and get all goosey and Lucy and goosey? Lucy, how's Desi doing, by the way?
Dead?
He's still dead. And so I guess everybody on that show is dead. Lucy and Desi and Vivian, what was her name? Vivian Vance in your pants.
William
and Fred,
Farley.
What?
William Farley.
William Farley.
Frawley?
William Frawley.
I don't know where the R goes.
William Farley? How about Farley Granger, man? Well, you better know your
Foley.
Lucy. For a Cuban guy, you sure don't know your Lucy stuff.
I know his
Lucy.
name.
950 votes.
I can sing Babaloo.
Babaloo. How about Baba Booey?
Huh?
Exactly.
What does that mean?
It means anybody who would say it is a moron is what it means. 950, during the next hour we'll get our 1,000. Chris, he was spot on, as they say. And why do they say that, spot on? Why do the British talk like so stupid? Why do they have all these idiotic...
Crack us up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Works
You
like a
realize
charm.
that it's already 38 and it's going to be 40 today here? Holy moly, it's a freaking heat wave.
The biggest names,
Man.
the best talent.
I'm going outside naked.
Roger.
Call me Mr. Moose, and I've been visiting to the 12 to 1 an hour.
All right. Everybody's in rehab for no reason at all. Unless you run a meth lab or make your own 8-ball. You don't need to go to rehab for something dumb you say. There's no 12-step program for hating someone gay.
Gay.
Everybody's in rehab when they shouldn't be. Gave some girl an ass grab, which isn't too PC. That doesn't mean you need rehab or a prescription. It means you're a butthead, just like Mel Gibson. Everybody's in rehab to cover their own ass. If you just threw one jab or smoked a little grass, you don't need to go to rehab for making racial slurs. Or if your underwear happens to be hers. Rehab's not for exhaustion or something you need to spin. Rehab's not for booby squeeze or foot in mouth disease. You don't need to go to rehab. Just apologize and control your ego. Stop making up lies.
1202 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you. Now, tomorrow is Ass Wednesday.
It is.
Oh, no.
I better get some butter.
Wow.
Rectum.
Is it really? I thought Ass Wednesday was before Easter. Am I getting confused?
Asking me what's
between
up.
Ass Wednesday and Good Friday? You better get with it, my
Look at the
Catholic
calendar.
friend.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, well, it's evidently too long.
Look
at the calendar back there.
Yes.
Is it really
Yeah, it's
tomorrow?
Ash Wednesday,
Ash
and then
Wednesday.
Thursday is Washington's birthday. And then
Really?
It means today's Mardi Gras, baby.
Well, we don't celebrate Washington's birthday anymore. We did that yesterday with President's Day. And everybody at QAM, Busman's holiday. All kinds of people took off like it was a real holiday. Slackers.
And then you know what Friday is.
Well, I beg your pardon?
You know what Friday is.
What is that?
Kneel off at 1.
Oh, and excellent. Now we're talking. That's the kind of holiday that I like. George will be on 1 o'clock. Did you remember that, by the way, George?
Yeah, I'll be playing music and talking about religion.
All right. Kind of show that Clarence can really sink her teeth into.
Or maybe playing religious music.
You know, this fax that you sent me, this is really, well, I mean, there's nothing here. It says, very interesting article link below, and it's got a link.
Yeah.
To a New Zealand, this long link. And, of course, the only way I would go to it is to type the whole damn thing, in which I'm not going to do it. It says, the end might be closer than we think. Check the link. Check the link because the end's closer than we think, and that really stink. It's very interesting. Article from a New Zealand paper. See, I don't want to go on the air on a great day like this. It's going to be 40 degrees today. I'm in a great mood. Life is sweet. Everything is good. And I got to go on the air reading stories about how the world is going to come to an end. I don't want to read that kind of story, okay?
I'll check it out. It might be humorous.
What do you mean check it out? You check it out.
I said I'm going to check it out.
Oh, you're going to check it out. Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm typing it in now. It'll take me an hour.
Go right ahead. Have yourself a great time. Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday. For all you religious nuts out there, for all you guest keys. Yesterday we had one of those really great calls, man. We had a couple of them, but one really great call from some religious nut. Well, the Bible says this, and he's doing all this Leviticus crap. And, of course, he would know Leviticus from Leviathan. I mean, he didn't know what the hell I'm talking about. And the Bible says this, and yada, yada, yada. And as soon as I start hearing that, I say, goodbye. You know, I know I'm dealing with a crazy person. And all these years that I've been screaming and wailing about this stuff, and, he's an atheist, and he's this, and he's that. In the meantime, take a look at the world today in which we live. Take a look at these crazy people. It's the Shiites and the Shia Sunnis and the bada-beep, bada-boop, and the Israelis, the Jews and the Arabs again. Good golly, Miss Molly. You think after 5,000 years they could cut the crap already? At least agree on what's kosher and what's halal, for crying out loud? One thing about the Jews and the Arabs, they're both circumspect, and they're not too big into that pig. WQAM, hello.
Hey, I got a confession to make.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I went to Sirius for a year, and it sucked.
You went to what?
I went to Sirius Radio for a year. And I got to tell you, the reception sucks. Stern's not funny anymore.
Oh, Sirius. Why can't you say it so I can understand? It's Sirius.
I can't get it out. Yes.
Yeah.
Sirius. But it's so overrated.
And not only that, but your phone sucks today, too. That sounded like Paul Harvey Jr., but he won't be on long enough to find out because his phone was crapping out. No wonder he can't get Sirius. Is that what we were talking about? Was Sirius? No.
Well, Sirius.
Well, I mean, we mentioned the story about the merger, but who really cares, you know? I mean, I'm not going to pay money for radio. Even with all the big bucks I got, with all the extra cash that I got, I'm not buying radio. No thanks. It's like pay TV. When's the last time you paid to watch something on TV? I know they still have it, but
well, all of us who have cable.
Yeah. You're paying for. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
like
watching
a pay-per-view or something?
Right?
No, never.
Right. How about you, Chris? You watch those pay-per-view crap?
Nope.
I rest my case. Who's going to pay to listen to radio? And quite frankly, I can hear all about Howard K. Stern for free. I don't need to listen to Howard Stern. Hey, Robin, anything else, Robin? Anything else, Robin? Anything else? Remember those days? It was kind of like he just refused to go home. I mean, there's a guy who with the gigantic money he's making, I can understand. It's one thing to love your work, but when you love it to the point that you want to stay on forever, and they have to drag you out of the studio, bodily kicking and screaming, you know, don't you think that's a little bit over the top?
I love my work.
Evidently. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hey, what's up?
Yes, sir.
Wanted to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Neil Rogers.
Yes, I am.
Just wanted to find out what your plan is for the 2008 presidential election.
What my plan is?
Well, which way are you voting?
Which way am I voting? You have to ask me which way I'm voting. Barack Obama is the man, sir. That's the answer to your question.
I agree
Barack
with
Obama.
you. I will vote
the
for
man.
him. I'm an independent. I agree with you 100%.
Good.
I agree with everything he's
400%.
written. Sharp guy. Read what he's written. He's a smart guy. He was against Bolton to be appointed to the...
He said that Bolton was revolting, and I tend to agree.
Exactly. Same thing with Roberts, the Supreme Court, when they were appointing him. This guy's sharp. He was against the war from the start, and he warned against it. Yeah. He was right all along. That's what we need.
Barack is the man.
Well, I'm an independent, I'm telling you. Hillary ain't the one. I won't vote for her. From the other side, maybe Giuliani.
Oh.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, Pally.
I like Barack. You're right. That's the guy.
Vote early and often, man. Say goodbye. Vote early and often. Just say goodbye. It's a good idea. We're probably getting close to 1,000 votes on the poll. I'd say, well, 970. We're creeping along because, you know, when you get to be old like me and all these other people that are voting about being old, you kind of like crick a little bit. You know, you're shuffling. You're not like rushing over to the computer to cast your vote. You're taking your sweet time. 10 votes for my kids are going to stick me in a home. Well, guess what? Let them stick this. I guess that's one good thing about not having any kids, is it? They're not going to be around to stick your ass in a home even though you don't want to go and you're kicking and screaming, I don't want to go. Yeah. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you just made me think about when you said you would never pay for radio. I was in Walmart the other day buying a television, and they said, as of 2009, there will be no more free TV.
Right.
Do you know that?
Meaning what? What does that mean?
Meaning, you can't get TV stations from the air anymore. You're just going to have cable or nothing.
I think your first mistake was going to Walmart.
Well, they had a sign on the television saying that as of 2009. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, if you don't have cable.
That's true. And isn't it a little unconstitutional, don't you think? I don't know.
Yeah, it says right in the Constitution that TV's got to be free. I remember James Madison wrote that, as a matter of fact, in the Fourth Amendment. Remember that?
It's one of the Bill of Rights.
Fourth president wrote that in the Bill of Rights. He said, TV's got to be free. Remember that song by the Rascals, People Got to Be Free?
Yes.
TV got to be free. What is he talking about? How are they going to cut the signals off over the air? They're all going to be on coming from satellites? Yeah, I knew you were going to play that. Felix Cavallari, man. Now, he's not dead, is he?
I don't think
so. The Young
so.
Rascals? I sure hope not. They were good.
Yes, they were.
I would say 1969, People's Got to Be Free. I could be way off on that, but that would be my best guess. Is that my last guess? 68. See, I'm always within one. And if you're within one, the board goes back, and it's okay. You got Concentration and Constipation. I did like that show, Concentration, even though you didn't.
No, I like Concentration. It's
and then there was Classic Concentration with the unctuous Alex Trebek. I beg your pardon?
It's Wheel of Fortune that I found very boring and easy.
974 votes on the poll. I'm not saying a word, you just, every now and then, your true colors just flap right out,
He's out of the will, isn't he?
He was never in it. You know something? Oh, yeah, the Rascals again. Groovin'?
Yeah. No. Close, though.
Beautiful Morning? Yeah. Oh, which reminds me of the parody we got. I knew we had a great parody that I love, and I never play it because it starts out in such a low, that's Groovin'.
Right.
On a Sunday
It sure is.
It's a terrorist warning.
It's a terrorist warning.
No, you see, what I've discovered, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and that is this, that whole business with the Jacob deal, remember, in the will and all this other controversy. See, Norma Kent, as you know, occasionally is very, got his thumb on it, but occasionally he doesn't know what he's talking about. You can put anybody in your will. You don't even have to tell them about it. If I wanted to put you in my will tomorrow, I could do it. I don't need your shoe size and all this other crap. Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
See?
I mean, somebody could tear the check up. That's their option.
Sure,
but,
no problem.
Nevertheless.
Won't bother me. I'm going to be dead anyway. What am I going to know?
Right.
Going to like be insulted?
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
Now, is that like number one in middays? Is that what he was talking about?
That's what he was talking about. I want to see about inserting that.
Oh, let's get that in there, Tom.
My wife took the car to the mall. She drives my Buick and she's 3 feet tall. I wouldn't ride with her, no way. I said I'd meet her there later today. So I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey, waiting for the lolly bus to take me away. Boy, I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey with my friend Chaim. Looks like it's time to take my change, 'cause the bus fares don't always stay the same. I'm not gonna do what Yetta tells me to do. To drive at her age, she must be insane. Just sitting here resting my bones, wondering why my wife won't leave me alone. We've talked it over, but I never win. I just wind up schlepping through the mall again. Oi, so I sit on a bench in Del Rey, waiting for the lolly bus to take me away. Oi, I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey with my friend Chaim. And there he is. It's about damn time. I've been waiting here all damn day on this bench. Where the hell have you been? Hey, where the hell are you going? Come back, you schmuck.
It's our time, Sonny. It's our time. That was one of the most disgusting events. I told you that about a Chinese restaurant I ate about 100 years ago, somewhere in Broward County. I go in with a friend or two, and all these old cockers are standing in line, and I don't remember the exact conversation, but it came down to, well, like they were ahead of us, and what are you doing here anyway? It's our time, Sonny. Sonny, my ass. I was like 40 years old, you know.
Yeah.
Sonny. Of course, compared to her, I was Sonny. She was about 140.
And you should have said, I'm sorry, I understand you're going to be dead soon. Please go ahead.
Yeah, and guess what? That's the good news. She is. In fact, let me dance on the graves of a lot of the detractors, like that first week I was on the air at WKAT, 1976. March of 1976, boys and girls. And I'm on the air, and I finish up my first week, and comes this nasty, old, hateful, miserable bastard on the phone.
Hey, Rogers, you stink. You'll never make it a year in this town.
And, of course, the good news is he's dead now, because that was 31 years ago, almost. In fact, a week from Thursday, it'll be 31 years exactly. What's everybody getting me for my 31 anniversary, huh?
I'm going to give you my best wishes.
Yeah,
because
well,
they don't charge you, customs on that.
I see. Oh, that's right. That would be bad
Every
if
time I
you
send you something,
I had
it
to pay
costs you
customs
money.
on it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Oh, guess what? The package is down there, the FedEx from Chickenhead. Anything from you in there this week or not?
No.
Well, good.
Well, next week. I'm going to give him something this week for next week.
Well, that's good.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I got that. And what else am I going to get? The Little Richard thing.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody out there has got to get us the Judge Judy drop where she says,
You're a stranger.
That's going to be a tough one.
See, I never heard that. I heard you do it, which you do
Right.
very well, you know. Some things you do well, some things
You're
not.
a stranger.
Oh, yeah. 991 on the poll by the bottom of the hour. By the time the little hand hits your ass, it's going to be 1,000 votes on there. And Chris is right. I was very... Well, when I sat down here this morning at about 8:20 or whatever, there were like 500 and some odd votes. And I thought, boy, that's not a good sign.
You were worried.
I was extremely worried, because if we don't get to 1,000, it's like a blow to my ego, you know. And of course, I don't have any ego. But it's not good. It leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth, like those gummy bears. Or what was it that Aaron Summers was always talking about?
Oh,
no.
Honey Bear.
Honey Bear.
Happy Honey Bear.
Honey Bear. That had to be one of the worst shows in the history of radio.
A
now, Steve Nickel put that in here, right?
A prude doing a sex show.
Yeah, a prude doing a sex show in which you're not allowed to really say much of anything anyhow, but it was... and of course, like Steve Nickel said, he didn't care whether the show was good or she got ratings. She's got a great ass. Remember that? That was his line. She's got a great ass.
She also wouldn't let gay people on until we found out about it, and you made fun of her for it, and then all of a sudden that policy changed.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. It's kind of like when I had that dating show on WS News years ago. I wonder if there's still any couples around that got married as a result of that show. I got a lot of people hooked up and married from the dating show, and I apologize for that. Because there's nothing worse than being involved in getting people married. Oh, you know, I don't have to tell you.
What?
567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
About it, and you made fun of her for it, and then all of a sudden that policy changed.
QAM, with the radio up.
Hey, how's it going there, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Oh, man, I just got a couple things. First of all, what is your thoughts and feelings on global warming?
It's bad. That's my thoughts and feelings. It's bad, okay? Woo! What's your thoughts and feelings, Pally, about that? What's your thoughts and feelings, George?
About what?
I'm too old to have any thoughts, and certainly much too insensitive to have any feelings.
I have thoughtless feelings.
I know that. 995 votes on the poll, not too bad. The old farts poll, that's me. In fact, 96 of us said I am old. Now, does that mean chronologically, or I don't know. I don't know what that
you
really
want
means.
it to mean.
Well, I don't want to sound like old, because then Joel Feinberg across the street will say, see, they got all those old Jews on the air over there. Who the hell are you to be talking about Jews, Joel? Guy named Feinberg, and he's got that Stugatz. Isn't he Jewish also? What's his name?
Yes, of course. Wiener.
Yeah, John Wiener. Boy, if anybody ever lived up to their name, man. God, those people are... And, of course, now that the football season... the one thing that left me so limp, and there has been nothing written about it, and, of course, not in this town. Because we don't have anybody with any real opinions that write articles that are really worthwhile very often in the newspapers and the fish wrappers. But Jimmy Cefalo being brought back, regardless of which station is going to get the rights for the Dolphins... I mean, that to me is absolutely unspeakable.
Unbelievable.
And that, too. It's unspeakable. In fact, as ludicrous as this may sound, before, assuming there was no play-by-play guy around, I would bring Mo back before I'd put him on there. You agree, Chris?
Absolutely.
There you go.
I actually heard about Howard David saying hello to, I guess, Sid yesterday. Sent Sid a text message, according to Jesse.
Sent him a text message about what? About doing the games?
Saying, hello, I heard you today, you sound greater. I don't know. It was as I was leaving yesterday. Jesse was coming in because he had a show last night, so he said during one of our commercials he flipped over to that other station. Yeah. And Sid said on the air, hey, Howard, thanks for the text message, just got it, thanks for whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's just sad.
Isn't that pathetic? Birds of a feather lose together. Well, he can go over there and have a 0.9 or whatever he had the last time he was on this station.
Hey, you'll never guess what's on MSNBC right now.
What's that? Anna Nicole. Okay, I'm going to go on MSC, whatever it is. Oh, yeah.
No, the question was...
There's Howard K. Stern. Personal relationship with Anna Nicole began in 2000. Here's the hearing.
Regarding her intentions for the burial plot.
I'm going to plot, see if I have to hear any more of this. Is this some kind of a plot that you're behind, turning me onto this crap?
The only question for the court is who is the proper representative of the person has the body.
You can just object and state the word relevancy. It'll save us time.
Personal relationship with her began in 2000. Well, what does that really mean, personal relationship? Is that in regard to the old in-out? Is that what they're talking about? Or what is that?
When she finally said okay.
When did that begin?
When did it begin?
Probably, probably about a week and a half after Dana died. Before that, Anna was inconsolable and really couldn't talk.
That's what I'm upset about is the kid dying. That really pissed me off. You could have cleaned him up a little bit, given him a shave, a shower, a little bit of a haircut.
You would have given him the detox treatment?
Yeah, I would have cleaned him up.
Poor David's a bitch.
Absolutely.
Where is the love? I don't get no promotion.
That's when you go doing. You gotta drive fast and I can use some lotion.
Yeah, that's when I Sport hoes don't got no sense of humor.
That's when you go doing. That's when your body has a cancerous tumor.
.31, I'm sure that Mo's love for Sid the Kid over there across the street is because of the fact that he's on opposite me, and anything that, just like the time he went on that other show, remember that?
Yeah.
Anything that he can do to deep success. How are we going to survive if Mo is buddies with Sid across the street, Sid the Kid? A couple of guys that got bounced out of New York. I'm sure they have that in common. Here's a fax that explains what that guy was talking about, which I'd forgotten about this. Depending on the outcome of discussions in Congress, television as we know it may end at exactly midnight, December 31st, 2006. Wow. Somebody must not have told everybody. This is from the MSNBC website.
Okay. It's old, as you already noticed.
Yeah. December 31st, 2006. Now that it's February 20th, 2007. That's the date Congress targeted a decade ago for the end of analog television broadcasting and a full cutover to a digital format. So I guess they pushed it up to 2009, according to what the other guy said. I don't know. I mean, you schleppers out there with your rabbit ears, if you can't afford cable, please. George will pay the bill. Just send the bill to the station carrier, George Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
What? No problem, man. If enforced, that means that overnight, somewhere around 70 million television sets now connected to rabbit ears and rooftop antennas will suddenly and forever go blank unless their owners purchase a special converter box. Back when the legislation was written, New Year's Eve 2006 probably looked as safely distant as the dark side of the moon. But now that date is right around the corner. It says, what's the date on this thing? I don't know. Doesn't have a date on it. And Congress and the FCC are struggling mightily to figure out what to do. Congress, however, left itself a loophole in the 1996 legislation and could actually let the cutoff date slide by, which obviously they did. It slid by. But powerful lobbyists now are pressing legislators to set a date certain for the analog Lights Out. Lights Out with Frank Gallup. I remember that show on Monday nights. Oh, that was a scary show. Lights Out. The debate over when to throw the switch is a strange brew of big money, high technology, homeland security, and a single unanswerable question: just how angry are the couch potatoes going to be? It's also a textbook example of how the future almost never happens as fast as technologists promise. Too many people, 70 million, that's too many. 70 million rabbit ears.
Yeah, and bear in mind, there are people that live in, like, rural areas.
In the sticks, in the sticks, baby. In the sticks.
And they're poor, or, those weird people that just aren't interested in television.
Like all those schleppers in Caracas that I told you about when I drove in the cab from Las Montañas down into downtown.
See.
And every one of those little huts had a tin roof and a little TV antenna on top. So they had their little TV. They didn't have probably no food to eat that night. But then, of course, at nighttime, they go down and rob the bastards in downtown and get enough money to, buy whatever they want. Bunch of booze. Here's a fax that says, don't show your age. You're talking about satellite radio working is like your parents saying no one will pay for cable. Satellite blows regular radio away. New poll for you. Think that Neil is out of touch. Oh, things that Neil is out of touch with.
And they sent that twice just to make sure that you
Did they really? Yeah. Just to give me a little shtuch, yeah. Satellite blows the regular radio away. That's why they had a merge the other day, and between the two of them, they got 14 million subscribers. I'm out of touch, like your parents saying nobody will pay for cable.
My parents didn't say that.
I never said that either. I always loved cable. I'm a big cable proponent. It makes sense because it gives you lots of great choices. Unfortunately, satellite radio is, I mean, we got Dr. What's-Her-Name on there, Dr. Laura.
Oh, boy.
And we got a bunch of other, Oprah is on there on satellite radio. The same crap that you'll find on television for free. Or for cable, whatever. So obviously that's one of Stern's people, no question about that.
But you're out of touch.
I had to send it twice. I beg your pardon. I'm out of touch. Things that Neil's out of touch with. You know my response to that is, touch this. I'm still doing fairly well for an out-of-touch old geezer, okay? I'm not doing so bad. I have very few complaints, as a matter of fact. Other than the fact that this business sucks.
Yeah,
what?
No sciatica?
No, I have no sciatica. I have no bursitis, bronchitis.
Rheumatism?
I have, no water pneumonia.
Gout?
None of these things.
Gout?
No gout, no pout, no doubt. Got a little
scream and shout.
Got some fat. I do want to scream and shout and twist and shout like the Isla Brothers. You should have seen me do the twist, baby, in East Shaw Hall.
The thought of you dancing is
didn't
like
work out too
funny.
Well. It didn't work out too well because the girl I was dancing with, she just kind of like gave up, She kind of looked at what I was doing and she thought, like that. I couldn't figure out why she kept, wandering away from me.
Huh.
Hey, it just isn't in the cards for this old queen, okay? I'm not blaming anybody. I'm blaming myself for being an older klutz. And I was a young klutz. Now, that's the Isley Brothers, I would hope.
That's what you said, yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe you would play the one by the Beatles, which would really piss me off, because of all the people who didn't need to be recording other people's crap, there it is. And like Mr. Postman and all the other stuff that they ripped off. I mean, they didn't need to be doing that, man. Look at all the great stuff that John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote, and George Harrison, etc. They did not need to go there and be stealing Motown stuff. My God, what is wrong with you peoples? 1,026 votes. How do we pass 1,000? I didn't even mention it. We just breezed on by, you know what? Like that bitch at Woodbine the other day. Breezed right on by. But that was so rank. I mean, I can't even, there are no words to describe it. Right in the middle of lunch hour, I apologize. It was so rank, and it really stank. God, put my ass right in the tank. But then, of course, if you win there, it's money in the
bank.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
You picked me up cold. Long-time listener from North Miami. I'm living up here. The town you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, where there's a bunch of old Yentas. I moved to Lake Worth.
Hey, wow. Well, you must be getting old, yeah.
Well, I just turned 50. I turned 50 in March. And I'm on the beach right now, and it reminds me of the days when I grew up in North Miami, Sunny Isles, Bal Harbor, all the New York tags in Jersey, and it's a different world up here. I mean, it's like Miami used to be. But it's I made the right choice, I can tell you that. But I just wanted to say hello. I haven't heard you in a long time. I turned you on, and you were talking about all the old restaurants, and I enjoy when you do shows like that. But it brings up a lot of old memories of at the time when Miami was nice.
For all of us old farts, right?
All of us old farts, and And that thing about Sirius, you know, I looked into that Stern deal, and you know what? It's a waste of money. They take it's $14.85 a month. They take it out. I have the little boom box. I have it in my car. This guy takes off more than he's done. You know, and he's really he's lost it. You know, just a bunch of curse words. The guy in the afternoon's not bad. Now, Bubba the Love, he's pretty good. He's kind of entertaining. He's kind of like you know, used to be when you used to be able to talk.
Yeah, well, we could just say crap, right?
Right, exactly. Before the internet. Now you can't even say crap, you know.
Can't even take one, yeah.
But he is pretty entertaining. He's a little off the wall. I mean, I think he smokes Stern. Stern's boring. He's absolutely boring to me. Have a good one. It was nice to talk to you, and good luck.
Okay, thanks, Pally. Don't get old. Or too late. 1,029 votes on the poll, so that guy's not all that impressed. Listen, if you like XM radio, if you like Sirius, if you like satellite radio, great. If you like fish, go out and have a great fish dinner, okay? On George. He'll pick up the tab.
No, he won't.
I mean, you know, I'm not one of those people that says because I like it, therefore you have to like it, or because I like a certain kind of music, you know?
You like it?
Oh, boy, my finger was already on the button.
You like it?
Oh, man, that's bad.
Do you like it?
No, not that one.
That's. I can't believe you did that to me. I was just right on the verge. My index finger.
Cut him off
just
at the
stick it straight up in the air. Yeah, bastard. 1029 on the poll. What's our goal today? Our goal is 1,000. I would say
about 30, man.
Yeah, if we get one more vote, 1,030. That's good enough for these people. Boy, that Clarence this morning comes in here. He was licky, kissy. I couldn't believe it. What was that all about?
He had a day off. He was in a good mood. I would have been in a good mood
because he didn't have to
too.
work yesterday. Boy,
that's right.
You got to give him more days off. When's the next Canes? Oh, look at that! Talk about my psychic powers. Canes basketball tomorrow night against Virginia, but it must be a home game because otherwise he wouldn't be there today. Probably must be a home game, right, Chris? Is it a home game? Who the hell would know? Who knows anything about Canes basketball?
Steph
knows what? He engineers the games.
Exactly. That's all he knows.
That's all he knows?
No, as far as that goes.
The same Steph that came in here this morning and hooked George up with that monitor when
Steph
the old
ones
went down?
But he's
great.
He couldn't tell you who they're playing. He just knows when he has to be there.
I see. Well, he must also know where he's going to be.
That's right.
And since they're playing Virginia tomorrow with a banjo on their knee, it must be a home game for the Hurricanes. And I also noticed that Hurricanes baseball is starting up again pretty soon. Did I dream that or what?
It's already started.
This Sunday, February 25, inside the batter's box, Hurricanes baseball pregame, and the Canes versus Elon. What is Elon? Is there really such a place? I know in the beginning of the season they always play a bunch of girls' schools, you know, like Buffalo and all these other pansy colleges. What is Elon?
It's Sisters of the Poor Part 2.
Seriously, what the hell is that? The Canes against Elon? I'm going to Google it during the break. I never heard of such a place.
Well, they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Gators this past weekend.
Oh, no.
And
not
the previous weekend, they took 3 against UCLA.
I see. Well, there you go. I think I'm going to come back and do UM baseball again. Boy, I was awesome. You know, I'm legendary. I'm legendary doing the talk show, but I was even more legendary those 6 years I did UM baseball. I was sensational. And the secret of my success, besides the fact that I'm great and legendary, was the fact that I had that extra microphone for crowd noise. And I used to twist it and tweak it during the game. And the microphone, too, the pod.
Oh, that explains a lot.
I twisted and tweaked it, and, of course, George was smoking.
So you can stay
f***ing blow.
Tonight on the Funeral Channel, it's a very special look at presidential funerals. Join us for 21 Guns, 6 Feet Under on the Funeral Channel.
Then stay tuned for Funniest Funerals and Wackiest Wakes with all new pallbearer pranksters.
Hey, did you hear that? I think it's coming from inside.
What? Open it! Open it! Uncle Ralph's still alive!
No, it's just me. Gotcha.
Oh, that's a good one. Funniest Funerals and Wackiest Wakes has all your favorite burial bloopers.
Bill was a loving husband, father, and gave back to the community. He was a volunteer cross-dresser. Crossing God. I'm sorry. Let me start over.
Always a hearse full of hilarity on Funniest Funerals and Wackiest Wakes. Following 21 Guns, 6 Feet Under. Tonight on the Funeral Channel.
What does that say? It says a correctional facility in North Carolina. Elon, is that correct? Oh, no, not correctional. Elon University. I think I read that wrong.
I know why they're playing Elon.
A private, comprehensive, co-educational, I thought it said correctional institute. Why are they playing him?
Because it is the alma mater of Jim Morris, the baseball coach. So he has him on the schedule every year.
Give me a break, Jimmy. What is wrong with you? Who the hell wants to go see Elon University? Who the hell ever heard of such crap? Okay?
You know who else graduated from there?
Give me a clue.
He's also another coach for UM? Head coach?
Ron Fraser.
No.
Larry Coker.
Current coach.
Oh, I don't have any idea who the current coach is.
Frank Haith, the basketball coach.
Like I would know that?
And Trader Jack McKeon went there.
Yeah. Is he still alive, by the way?
Yeah. He's smoking cigars.
Talk about old.
But
Let's see. Here's another one. This is the one I want me to read the story from New Zealand about the world's coming to an end and get everybody depressed, which I won't do. It says, had XM radio for a year and a half. Subscription ran out a few months ago. Haven't renewed. No reason for XM if you're into music with the advent of iPod, etc. But for sports nerds, XM Sirius is good. Or if you're into national talk radio, I think it's geared to people who drive for a living, salespeople, truck drivers, etc. I have a feeling after trying it out, not many people will not renew their subscriptions, it says. How do you like that? And, of course, what talk shows are you going to hear on there, other than Stern and Bubba the Love Fawcett? What are you going to hear? That isn't on terrestrial radio.
I don't know.
What?
Isn't Opry and Anthony on there?
Oh, Opry and Anthony's on there?
XM?
Anthony?
Yeah.
And what about, don't forget, you're forgetting two of the most important people.
Don and Mike Blow.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know where they are.
Don and Mike.
I don't know where they are. And couldn't care less.
Brilliant.
A report in today's Wall Street Journal paints a picture of an Iran in the early stages of an energy crisis.
Oh, my God.
Although long considered an energy giant, the Persian Gulf country is facing the prospect of an oil output crash within a decade, and it may start rationing gasoline next month. Oh, no. I hear in the trailer parks they're going to start rationing Vaseline. Bill Spindle writes in the Journal this morning that Iran's oil production is stagnating. Demand in the country is high because the government makes the price of gasoline very cheap. At the same time, a combination of Western sanctions and Iranian policies has discouraged foreign investment in oil fields, resulting in a lull in production growth. The problem is so severe that Iran's government shelled out at least $7 billion on gas imports alone so far this fiscal year. How do you like that? So they're running out of oil, so who the hell needs them? Chubam and Dread, man. Yeah. Look what a great job we did with that Iraqi oil. Not. In response, Iran is hoping to expand its production abilities, but the U.S. government and others see political implications from the current state of affairs in the Iranian energy sector. Iran's energy woes could make it more vulnerable to international economic sanctions, Spindle writes. Even many Iranian officials concede that the long-standing ban the U.S. has placed on American oil companies working in Iran has hampered the country's ability to develop its oil fields adequately. A looming disaster. It's the master of disaster, driven by Buddy Gilmore on the far outside. I wonder how Jackie Lee is doing.
Doing what?
Mo Howard David. I think they're the same person. I still do. Same personality, same New Yorkie sound. Mini mob scene erupts as Ann and Nicole battle resumes today.
With Daniel when she was alive. She wanted to crawl inside that space where he was.
All right, let's start to wrap this up. Let's start to wrap it up, this area.
Your Honor, I would just request...
That judge seems awfully Jewish to me, doesn't he? Seems very Jewish.
He is. He's a crazy person.
Concerned would go for some period
crazy
of
Jew?
With who?
With Mr. Stern.
What issue?
I would like him to both authenticate and I would like to inquire of him as to some tapes that were done of Ann and Nicole discussing both her relationship with her mother.
How about the tapes that were done when he impregnated her? Are we going to see those or what? At today's hearing to settle who gets to bury Ann and Nicole Smith, Broward Judge Larry Seidlin, see, I told you he was Jewish, told the cram courtroom they should give her in death the dignity and the beauty she wanted in her life. Isn't that a lovely... What a sentiment. That's sentimental?
Yeah. Sentimental.
Court recessed about 10:45 this morning as about 25 people, including Smith's parents, her companion, Howard K. Stern, and ex-lover Larry Burkhead, went to the judge's chambers for a closed conference. But obviously they're back.
Efficiency of the relevant.
The first hour of the hearing was dominated by back-and-forth sniping as attorneys jumped out of their seats to argue with each other. A near brawl, it says. What was the headline? Mini mob scene erupts. Krista Barth, Stern's attorney, told the court that Burkhead's attorney, Deborah Opry, I wonder if she's kin to Winfrey Opry, accused Stern of killing Smith during the proceedings. Opry looked stunned. I wonder if she's kin to the grand old Opry. But did not deny the allegation. If there's anything worse than country music, I've never heard it. She remained tight-lipped. I guess maybe some of the rap music. Some of the hip-hop. Jazz. All that jazz. All that jazz sounds awfully gay to me. She remained tight-lipped as the judge admonished all parties to keep the peace. Keep the peace, baby. Keep the faith and keep the peace. Just like over in the Middle East. Keep the peace. Before the recess, Seidlin urged everyone to cooperate for the sake of 5-month-old Danny Lynn. See, I can't say it right, and I don't care. Smith's daughter, who's the subject of a custody dispute between Stern and Burkhead. Doesn't that sound like a spot on a ship, the Burkhead?
Yeah, it does.
I see.
It's right behind the bulkhead.
Yeah. Seidlin, who often used colorful language to help ease the tension in the courtroom, predicted that one day Danny Lynn may see the videos of the hearing. No one's going to say anything negative, he said amid the bickering lawyers. I need positive vibrations here. Oh, he could have gotten Brian Wilson to do that. Let me ask you, Brian.
You like it?
To remind every one of the... I beg your pardon?
There we go.
Boy, that was sure a little slow. Good vibrations, baby. It's my least favorite B4 song.
Oh, I like it.
Highly overrated. Everybody says, oh, that's the greatest song, and that's the best song they ever did. That's a piece of genius. And it's a piece of something all right.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, good. I'm happy for it. Well, come on. Don't pot it down now.
I want to hear the rest of the story here that you're reading.
Well, there we go. That's enough. To remind everyone of the child, Seidlin asked Stern to write the baby's name in magic marker on a courtroom easel, and Stern complied. Write it in magic marker, you idiot. Well, this is like
I told
a circus.
You he was a crazy person.
The judge?
Yes.
At least he's got a whole head. He's almost bald, but at least he's got a whole head, unlike the purple guy.
It's shaped like a head.
Meanwhile, outside the courtroom, a parade of gawkers lined up to catch a glimpse of the players in the case, or at least to get a seat in the courtroom, which is open to the public. About 10 people signed up at 8:30, hoping to snag one of the few seats left in the courtroom behind the media. David and Linda Pilosoff, snowbirds from New York, noted that the event was quite a spectacle. This place is a zoo, it's so wild, David Pilosoff said. But others weren't so impressed with the attention the case has brought to Fort Lauderdale. A few screamed at the media to get a life, get a life.
I have no life.
Questioning why Smith's death was even news. Amen. But Smith fans said they can't get enough of the story. First of all, if they're her fans, that doesn't surprise me in the least. I am here in support of Anna Nicole, Stern, and especially Danny Lynn, said Gwen Walker of Fort Lauderdale. I feel like I knew her personally. She was our Cinderella story. She went from rags to riches. How's Tony Bennett doing? I think he went from rags to riches myself, and he still can't sing. Walker brought a letter to give Stern, pledging her support and love. We're very interested in court cases in general, especially this one, which has everyone's attention, David Pilosoff said. Or is that Pilosoft? A horde of reporters and some members of the public crowded outside the courtroom before the hearing began. And it's going on.
If Your Honor requires...
Let's just play the whole thing.
I do have an affidavit.
I don't have time. I want who's here now.
Lack of time is no excuse to violate the rules of evidence.
Well, I appreciate you reminding me that.
She's saying she wants to prove her case by hearsay or by an affidavit. That is totally foreign to the way things are supposed to be decided, John.
But I'm protecting you, Texas. So
I can't go out there and have an affidavit.
When you get back to Texas, they're going to remember your text. Let me ask you.
You're right. This is a joke. It's a comedy routine.
This guy, he does stand-up shtick with every word out of his mouth.
Also, if we could look at this reported will during the lunch hour, it might go faster when we get back.
They've seen it.
All right.
How do you like that? They're looking at Neil's will there during the lunch hour. I'll be damned. Of course, it's 12:56, so I think the lunch hour is...
Arnold, this is not a tumor. It's the 1 to 2 hour. Huh?
Looking for love in the deceptive way, with somebody's picture stolen from my space, blowing words out of my ass on a fake profile, trolling online, trolling online. I could be good looking or a fat hairy A, bi or gay, or maybe just straight. Look at all my gullible friends that I've got so far. Trolling online, trolling online. All the time, everybody lies online. You're gonna find me plainly, guys. You have no right. Trolling online.
Heard some new nuggets from Howard K. Stern on the stand. As you pointed out, I've been covering this case from the beginning, and one of the new nuggets that he was saying is that he is suggesting that he was sort of telling Anna, well, maybe you should be buried, maybe your final place, maybe all of our final place.
How could this story be complete without Rita? Rita.
Giving hope to the desperate and lonely, even though I may be incredibly homely. You never know, it's my reason for nothing but lies. Trolling online, trolling online. I don't mind, just give your phone with all fake lies. The internet's a waste of time for what you expect to find. Trolling online, trolling online. Lie, 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 lie.
103 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you. I think I got the last of the phlegm out. Doesn't it sound like it? I think when in doubt, I got it out. Although
we'll see.
Well, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go. I'm going out for lunch.
Okay.
Which I almost never do. I eat in a restaurant. I would say maybe once a month. You know.
All right.
But I'm going to I mean, not that I got some kind of a limit or a quota. What the hell difference does it make? As long as it's, good food. But I'm going to go out for and maybe give me some matzo ball soup today. Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. And just kind of cleanse out
good
all
for
of
your
my
throat.
Yeah, for my throat. 1,075 votes on the poll. I think we got a real shot at 1,100 today. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, definitely.
Easy pickings. Josh didn't seem too excited about his flavor wave this morning. I didn't expect him to
he was. You
you
should have seen him jumping around,
tinkle all
bouncing
over
around.
me.
He did cartwheels.
Get out of here. No, I'm serious. He just, it was anticlimactic. I probably shouldn't have told him ahead of time,
Look, I didn't have the microphone on when he first discovered it, so, he already leaped around the room, or leapt.
He leapt?
Around.
Like
the
a leper,
room and everything, and then by the time he got on
like a leper or slept like a schlepper.
He had calmed down considerably by the time he got onto the microphone.
And he also had a full mouth of cereal when he was saying things.
I see. He had a mouthful? Well, wouldn't be the first time.
Bacon flakes.
Look, I'm not one of those people that expect somebody to kiss my ass if I do something nice for them. I just, that's tacky. I hate people like that. Oh, look what I did for you. I hate that. People that do something so they can hold it over your head.
Right.
Can't stand that. Like if somebody gave me $10 million and then they wanted to hold over my head for the rest of my life, I mean, I'd take the cash and I would, disappear. 1,078 votes on the poll. The thing I hate most about growing old is, the aches and pains. I don't really have a lot of aches and pains. I have like a little sinus here from this cold and from this changing weather.
I got a pain in my ass, but it's got nothing to do with growing old.
No, it's your life. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
like Bon Jovi said, it's my life and my wife. Oh, I'm sorry. 4 degrees, it's 40. It's 40 degrees Fahrenheit in the big city. Aren't you? I'm not going to ask you because you don't care.
I don't care.
Here. Okay, I care. That means I can take a nice leisurely walk to lunch today, have me a fine lunch with some matzo ball soup, maybe a little meatloaf. Oh, do you know anybody who doesn't like meatloaf? I'm not talking about the singer. I'm talking about the food.
No, I know some about, vegetarians and stuff, but what do they know?
Well, screw them, okay?
That's
screw
right.
them. You can take your vegetarianism and stick it where the horse's ass hangs out.
That means more for me.
All for me.
God. People with their fetishes, Who in their right mind doesn't like a nice juicy steak? Do you know anybody other than these? I'll tell you, the only people I know who aren't into that are the people, yeah.
Right.
The fanatical vegetarians.
And even in their case, I haven't heard them say they don't like it. I bet you even
people who claim to be vegetarians sneak a nice burger or a juicy snake steak.
Or they want it.
Ever a snake steak?
No, but it's on the list.
JetBlue introduces the customer bill of rights, and that is, of course, assuming that they're still going to be flying. I never flew JetBlue, and I'm sure you didn't either because you don't fly anywhere because you're a slipper. Right. They're going to pay all those stranded passengers. They've got service. The whole airline business is really in bad shape. Let me recommend to you very highly, okay? KLM.
Okay.
Not to you, but for the audience. I'm just telling you, next time you go to Europe, expensive as hell. But, I mean, I guess in coach, maybe you could afford it. Schlepper class, maybe back there in cargo, where they have steerage, where they have the baggage and the smelly animals in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just telling you, they do a damn good job. I enjoy flying KLM. I didn't always enjoy the boarding process, and I think a friend of mine, my friend here, he and I wrote complaints. We sent them emails. Remember that about a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
And they actually paid attention. They responded to it. They made a much greater effort to try to, board their flights in a civilized way, as opposed to everybody pushing up at the gate and the, and the attendants going, what do we do like that, you know. The one thing that does bug me, though, is that they let people traveling with small children on first. First they put the gimps on, which I can understand that.
Sure.
Every airline does that. But then they have people traveling with small children. Then business class and elite platinum, whatever the hell it is, card members, then they go on after that. When you're paying the kind of money to fly in business class that some of us do, you don't care about those people with their small children. Why have they got to get on first? Can you explain that to me? I can understand people who are handicapped or crippled or in a wheelchair or whatever. But why have the people with the small children got to get on before the people paying the big bucks? Can you explain that to me, sir?
Probably because they're going to be walking by the people in business class being pains in the ass as they go.
No, they're not. The business class is off to the one side, and then they're going to go in schlepper class. They're going to make the right turn when they get on there with those punky little kids, because I sure don't want them in business class with no crying little babies, I'll tell you that. God. It's like a staff meeting at QAM. Speaking of that, when's the last time there was a staff meeting at QAM?
Well, they have all kinds of meetings all the time, but...
No, I know that.
We
but
never
I mean,
go.
not with the people on the air, not the program people.
The sexual harassment meeting was the last meeting that I attended, and that was last year sometime.
And, of course, I wasn't invited to that meeting. I don't think I was there. How long ago was that meeting? Was I up here? I've been here 5 years.
There was one last year?
Yeah, a few months ago.
A sexual harassment meeting. Now, was Greg involved in this?
No.
I'm not saying as one of the. I'm not sure which end of the meeting he would have been in on.
He might have attended one of them.
Yeah, he should. See, the thing with me is when I was down there, other than JP, who was he ever officially an employee or was he always an intern?
Here at this radio station?
JP. Juan Pablo.
Yeah, I don't remember him at this radio station.
Have you lost your grasp on life?
Granted, I'm not keeping track of these guys like you are.
He was one of your people. He was Papa Juan Pablo. Of course it was at that radio station. He filled in for you when you were on vacation one week. The hair, you talk about him all the time. What are you talking about?
I talk about him all the time. You talk about him all the time.
About how hairy he was.
Yeah, he was really hairy, but I don't remember his presence in this radio station. I thought he was at the other place.
You've lost it.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
I'm supposed to be the one that's old and senile.
I can tell you about all the female interns or employees, few that they are, that have been through here, and you keep track of the guys. That's your job. I just know that he had a big old bald spot on the back of his head and hair like a gorilla sticking up out of his collar.
He had a bald spot?
Yeah. He did his best to comb over it.
Other than him, there was nobody there that I would want to have sexually harassed in the first place. And then after you told me about his hairy,
it was fur.
His hair problem. His
looked like the wolf boy in Mexico, that you see every once in a while.
Well, that's the way to go. You can't remember him being there. It's not that long ago. In fact, he came back to visit once or twice.
Okay.
And he actually called me at home once and left a message on my answering machine.
How'd it go?
I didn't speak to him. I never called him back. He was at, I don't know where the hell he was. Why would I call him back?
I don't know. Hot gay sex?
Oh. Believe me, from the stories he was telling me, he was having a lot of hot sex, all right, but it sure wasn't
gay.
No. Tell me about all the things. I guess he was in some fraternity and the things they would do to humiliate and degrade the chicks. He told you those stories, didn't he?
No, not to me.
No,
if he was in a fraternity, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, well, there you go. Oh, in other words, there was hot sex, but not with me. Anyway, I can't believe you don't remember him being there. That's just,
whatever.
That would be like my saying to you, I can't remember what's her name being there, the intern that you were like hovering over and having her crawl around the gown.
I don't expect you to.
You just mentioned her the other day.
Yes, I did.
What was her name? Shannon. Well, I was close. I had the wrong SH. But, of course I remember her. So what does it have to do with who you... See, you turn this whole thing into like something that's not. As you know. Yeah, that's right. He was a pretty kid. He was a very pretty guy.
He was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy and a pretty guy. And he wasn't all uptight either. He never came in and sat on my lap, though, but he wasn't uptight. The thing I hate most about growing old, I won't be able to afford to live, 251. We got 1,095 votes. Chris is right. We can make 1,100 a day if we really put our nose to the grindstone. What another stupid expression. Put your nose to the grindstone. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the time that the guy stuck his ding-a-ling in the, was it a lathe? Remember, that was an IOD. I had that story. Remember that?
It's a belt sander, and we have it here on a, on a CD if you want to hear it.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Anyway, it was a belt sander.
Wow. No, we better not be telling those stories now. That was the PJ days, pre-Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
because it had to do with his dingling, and he was trying to do a thing with his
self-repair.
Yeah.
Scrotum.
He was doing a little self-abuse, and it wound up needing self-repair. I love that dictionary definition of the word masturbation, self-abuse. The thing I hate most about growing old is I won't be able to afford to live 251. Young chicks won't like me anymore. That's moving up, 126. The winky won't work. Maybe that's why they don't like you, 126. I am old, 107 of us old farts. That's me. Hair growing in my ears, in clumps, 105. In chunks. Everything droops, 100. I hit this poll, 82, 7.4%. Not happy with that. Nothing. I'm looking forward to it, 78 clowns. I pooped my pants, 64. Getting closer to death, 49. And my kids will stick me in a home, only 11. Solamente 11. 1,099. During the break, big votes coming in. That's your buddy.
No, I know.
He wanted it, but he never told me that. Damn.
He didn't want it from you.
Oh.
I'm actually a lesbian.
Congratulations. Get a life.
Well, that trip to you sure is way on there. Toward the SN. Don't look at me. I didn't put that in there.
No, me either.
I know. I do them a little loose every now and then myself. I apologize profusely for that. Not loose. Loosey bowels. 1111 on the poll. 1,111 votes.
By the way, can I send out a personal message?
Go right ahead.
Tracy Narlands, in honor of Mardi Gras, sent us a Mardi Gras King's Cake. So thank you,
Mardi
Tracy.
Gras what?
King's Cake.
What does that mean?
It's like...
As opposed to queen?
It's like roundish.
Yeah, just like me.
It's like a giant donut with all kinds of multicolored frosting on it, and it smells great, and we're going to get into it right after the show and get frosting up to our elbows. Thank you, Tracy.
All right. Well, I don't get any of it up here.
Good.
You said it's like frosted?
It's like a cake with frosting on it, but it's...
Well, let me tell you one thing about that.
That really frosts my ass a little bit.
Yeah, well, I figure I might as well use that sometime. Those are the days, baby. The Harry Carey days, the Cub days, of course. Your famous trip to Chicago for 5 minutes.
Yeah, 23 hours.
You know something that was so bad. That was so stupid. That show. Were you there when I was actually doing the show, or were you already gone back?
I had already been your producer for a year and a half. See, I had already missed the previous year's trip.
I wasn't asking for a sob story again. I was just asking, were you still there?
I thought I was going to go the previous year, and Marvin went instead. And then the following year...
That's because they hated you.
Yeah, exactly. And the following year, they actually
Why is that? Why is it at IOD they hated you, and at QAM they hate you, too? What's that? What is it that you seem to schlep around with?
Because I'm your whipping boy. Because they can't punish you. They need you, and they need to be on good terms with you. But anything that you do, when you fart, I get beaten.
Wow. Uh-oh. So anyway... They sit me in that room there in Murphy's Bleachers Bar right across from Wrigley Field with a microphone and a phone and, of course, the calls with usually nothing but cranks. I don't think we had like one real phone call that day. And, of course, nobody cared. I mean, it's a sports show. And on that station, which certainly wasn't a sports station, we had sports talk from 6 to 7 every night. It was just a regular talk station. And so they blew away about 95% of the audience. And I'm supposed to sit there and do a show sitting in a room with a microphone. I mean, I got through it okay, but it was... And then they bring over Bob Brentley, who's an ex-Cubs catcher or Giants catcher and Cubs horrible broadcaster on the radio, and, and talking about the Cubs. Well, I bet Clarence would have loved that. A sports show. And it went over like, like an 800-pound pole vaulter. Not good. Republican presidential candidate John McCain looking to improve his standing with the party's conservative voters. You talk about a waffler. How come Kerry kept getting all that crap? Huh? This
Democrat.
McCain is the worst freaking whopper, and all of a sudden today he's ripping Rumsfeld an ass now that he's long gone. He said Sunday the court decision that legalized abortion should be overturned.
Oh, my God.
I do not support Roe versus Wade. It should be overturned, the Arizona senator told about 800 people, 800 yahoos in South Carolina, one of the early voting states, pandering to the rednecks. McCain also vowed that if elected, he would appoint judges who strictly interpret the Constitution of the U.S. and do not legislate from the bench. That's the right-wing take. The landmark 73 decision in Roe v. Wade gave women the right to choose an abortion to terminate a pregnancy. The Supreme Court has narrowly upheld the decision with the presence of an increasing number of more conservative justices on the court, raising the possibility that abortion rights would be limited. Social conservatives, Nazis, are a critical voting bloc in the Republican presidential primaries. McCain's campaign also announced early Sunday that he had been endorsed by former Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating, who had been considering his own bid for the White House, and former Texas Senator the drooling Phil Gramm, who failed in his bid for the Republican nomination in '96. Keating told the crowd that McCain is the only candidate who is a true blue Ronald Reagan conservative. Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. And McCain attended a rally Sunday evening promoting an abstinence program, which we know how well that works. He's just sucking up to those right-wing Nazis, man. The Christian evangelical Nazi bastards. That's where he's coming from now. Got a good poll for tomorrow. Already faxed it to Eric. How do you like that? Am I getting way ahead of myself? Well, that's because I'm going out for a nice leisurely lunch. Aren't you proud of me? A little matzo ball soup? I'm looking forward to it. And maybe some meatloaf.
That does sound good. Gravy.
Here's the poll for tomorrow. See if you approve. I mean, I've already sent it, but I could change it. We have 1,215, by the way, on our MySpace, 1,215 friends. And I'm just wondering, because I know you already told me about this. You gave me a lecture about the way people respond and the way people don't, and the fact that, I've got my 2 close personal friends on there that respond all the time, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Zyrtec or whatever that guy's name was. Zyrtec, I don't know what his name was. Began with a Z. ZY something. I mean, he was on there all the time, and Harry Potter guy from Detroit, he was on there all the time, and there were a whole bunch of people that were like regular. And then Johnny G sends George an email this morning. And what did it say again? It said, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. The subject line said, I'm sorry. And then the message said, I'm
sorry. Well, we don't know what he did.
And I wrote him back saying, for what? Did you do something to me that I don't know about?
And he never responded?
No.
I'm sorry! Well, maybe he's just sorry. He looked in the mirror and he realized he was Johnny G. And he said, I'm so sorry. He didn't send me no message at all today, thank God. Maybe he's moving over into your territory now. Oh, Johnny G.
What the hell does that mean?
What do you mean by that? Well, this is an email he sent to you, right?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like he's going to start bugging me instead of you for a while? Yeah,
well, man.
All right.
Don't be sorry, Johnny. George loves hearing from you.
Yeah, bring it on. What do you got?
Oh. Anyway, here's this poll that somebody sent in. You know who sent it? That Charles B., who sent in about 100 really good polls. Maybe this isn't one of them. What is the reaction you get when you tell others you listen to Neil? We've never done this. The first question is interesting.
Why?
Yeah. Then I can't stand that bastard. And then, all right, so do I, as in
all right.
Laughter. And then a bunch of swearing, you, get away from me. He's still on. I thought he retired or died. Who's Neil Rogers? That's cool. When's he on? What station? You effing commie pinko. Ain't he the greatest? You like him too. I love him. He's the center of my universe. I want to meet him, stalk him, do him, be him. Yeah. I don't tell anyone I listen to Neil or I hate this poll. How's that?
Great. I like the stalking option especially. How about I want to skin him and wear his flesh?
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a plan. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time. I think we probably have a few people out there who would love to do that.
It rubs the lotion on its skin as it gets the hose again.
No, I can't find it now.
Can't find what? I'm sure that's not the first time.
Believe me, a daily occurrence.
Have you tried
puts
prior?
the lotion in the basket.
That's what I was looking for. I mean, something as simple as that. I've lost my magic, man. Just like those Godfather clips. I used to be able to just pull them out of my ass.
This is legitimate. I swear, this is legitimate.
Right. Well, he was on Biography a couple nights ago, Al Pacino. Man, I love him. Most of the time. The only movie he was ever in I couldn't stand was, plus Cruising, which I didn't watch it. I watched just enough of it to get revolted and want to puke.
I made the mistake of watching it.
Cruising?
Yeah.
Should have been called Losing and Boozing.
He was
a big
very
loser,
depressing.
Yeah, very depressing and very morbid and very stereotypical. It's a fag flick, okay?
Right, and the moral of that fag movie, as is the case with most fag movies, is the only reason that gay men, or straight men are straight is because you just haven't tried it. Don't you know?
I see. I never really thought about that. 26 after 1 at QM.
There's no fags in the church.
I thought Christianity was fairy tale. Oh! This religion thing was not for me. They held a big convention and let me in for free. I had no idea what I was about to see.
You fairy.
They were speaking in tongues that made me a believer. It was kind of fun to stick it out of my mouth. Speak in tongues. They got me believing my tongue is weaving from side to side. The Lord will now embrace me. I clap my tongue to the beat. Now whatever I do, He'll forgive me. 'Cause now I speak in tongues that makes me a believer, and I'm having fun playing around with my mouth. Now I speak in tongues.
132. Well, there's Mitt Romney, and they're talking about courting the religious right. How he's all of a sudden really far-bissing, All the crap. There's McCain, bada beep, bada boop, bada bop, and let's repeal Roe v. Wade, and let's have no more sex, except if he gets a little bit, and that's about it. Same old tired crap, man. The Republican Party, just a bunch of panderers, that's all. Well, they're all a bunch of panderers, but they're the worst. Speaking of that, the second most powerful member of the Texas House has circulated a Georgia lawmaker's call for a broad assault on teaching of evolution.
Oh, my God.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
The anti-science, anti-intelligence, Neanderthal, ostrich, stick-your-head-in-the-sand party. House Appropriations Committee Chairman Warren Chisholm, Republican of Pampa, that's not Tampa, it's Pampa, as in Texas, used House Operations Tuesday today to deliver a memo from Georgia State Representative Ben Bridges. The memo assails what it calls the evolution monopoly in the schools. Mr. Bridges' memo claims that teaching evolution amounts to indoctrinating students in an ancient Jewish sect's beliefs. Ancient Jewish secret. Remember the ancient Chinese secret?
No.
Indisputable evidence, long hidden but now available to everyone, demonstrates conclusively that the so-called secular evolution science is the Big Bang, 15 billion year alternate creation scenario of the Pharisee religion, writes Mr. Bridges, a Republican from Cleveland, Georgia. He has argued against teaching of evolution in Georgia schools for several years. Sounds like a really enlightened human being. Not. He then refers to a website, fixedearth.com. Fixedearth.com, that contains a model bill for state legislatures to pass to attack instruction in evolution as an unconstitutional establishment of religion. I didn't know that evolution had to do with religion. Oh, it does?
They say it does.
Mr. Bridges also supplies a link to a document that describes scientists Carl Sagan and Albert Einstein as Kabbalists. See, there's that word again that you always tell me I pronounce
wrong.
You
said it right this time.
And laments Hollywood, well, that's probably because I had a good teacher. And laments Hollywood's unrelenting role in flooding the movie theaters with explicit or implicit endorsement of evolutionism. Mr. Chisholm says he knows Mr. Bridges from their joint service on a committee of the National Conference of State Legislatures. That is a courtesy to a member of the Georgia legislature. That's all it is, said Mr. Chisholm, a social conservative who opposes abortion rights and wants the state to prefer heterosexuals over gays and lesbians in recruiting foster parents. He authored the 2005 constitutional amendment banning gay marriage. Oh, how unusual. What a surprise. Mr. Chisholm was asked if Mr. Bridges' memo reflects his own views. No, absolutely, though I'm a Christian, I believe in creation, he said. Creation science is the idea that the earth was created in some 6 days, 6,000 years ago.
Not enough to know creation science.
Right. You ought to teach creation as well as the fact of evolution, Mr. Chisholm said, though he said all of those kinds of sciences have holes in them, but I'm not about teaching religion in schools, he said. They have holes in them just like your...
Rectum.
That's correct, Mr. Chisholm. God. And you're talking about red states and blue states. Why don't they come right out and talk about redneck America, baby? A bunch of Neanderthal, redneck, Bible-thumping lunatics. That's what America's all about. It's about 50-50, man. There's about 50% of people who live like in civilized places, who understand a little bit about what life is all about, who have enough enlightenment to be like human beings. And then there's about 50% who are like trailer trash, Bible-thumping lunatics. Sheep-humping, Bible-thumping, tub-thumping, whatever they are. I'm just thinking about lunch.
Gonna have a tub of soup?
Yeah, it would be nice. Jump into a nice hot bathtub with soup. And get all the schmutz from you all in the soup before you eat it. I still say taking a bath, man, it's not good.
No.
You're sitting in your own
juices.
Schmutz. In your own schmutz. In your own what?
Juices.
Ooh. 1,138 votes on the poll. Oh, sitting in the bathtub with the juice. I know that Matt Damon wanted to get in the tub with Jude Law. Remember that? Who wouldn't want to get in the tub with Matt Damon when you come right down to it? Hey, Matt.
You fairy.
Me, they married him off. I beg your pardon?
We wouldn't.
Most of the people you're talking to that are listening right now?
Yeah. That's why I said it.
Oh.
That's exactly why I said it. Don't you understand me by now after 100 years?
Yeah.
Don't you understand? It's got nothing... Uh-oh.
But someone was there to help me.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Geico got my claim in the works right away, and I was actually able to enjoy my Thanksgiving.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, and cranberry sauce. Woo!
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Now, one more time. Now we need the very, very beginning where he says, "Look out!"
Now, you notice I didn't step on that.
No, I know that was clean.
I don't want to get bitched out by Chris again. I even left where at the end where he said Geico. I don't mind giving them plugs. They got the best spots going.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know a damn thing about their insurance, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and I don't care because I don't have them anyway.
No, I wouldn't yell at you. I had no problem with you stepping on it like that.
You have become such an ass licker the last few days. I don't know what your story is.
What
Hasn't he
become?
What is that all about? What do you think that's going to get you? I mean, the chances of you being in my will on a scale of minus infinity.
What will?
Yeah, exactly, right. No, I think won't is the word, not will. Won't. Won't happen. George, on the other hand, he's still thinking because you guys planted this in his mind, like the old man's going to leave me a couple $100,000, something like that.
I just want you to work for another 5 years at least.
No problem.
And me be the board op.
Well, go to Joe Bell and tell him to extend my contract.
I'll be 70 by the time
I'm going
you
to
die.
tell you right now, I'm working till I croak. I've decided that. In fact, my trip to Berlin, which I told Clarence wasn't all that great, and I came back early and so on, because I went alone and the weather was, going over to Europe in the middle of the wintertime, especially alone, is not a great idea. Just, I just wasn't in the mood. I was crass and lewd, but not necessarily in the mood. And nude. But nevertheless, it just taught me a valuable lesson about this whole retiring business. Traveling the world sounds wonderful, but it gets old. It gets very old, and as you get older, you don't have the enthusiasm or the energy to fight all the people in the airports and go through all the delays and all the aggravation and the stress. There's a lot of stress involved in that. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So what I'm saying is I convinced myself that this early retirement business is crazy. And, of course, having said that, if Joe Bell was a real mensch and if he really, was concerned about the future of this radio station, he would have been on the phone with Norma that afternoon saying, I heard Neil say he wants to work until he croaks, which I've said before, but I don't see them extending any, olive branch in my direction. In fact, I'm thinking that a week from Thursday, on the 1st of March, my 31st anniversary on the air in town, that's the day they should announce a till death extension, a TDE, till death extension to my contract. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, that way, the big bucks are still coming in. I can go to Woodbine all the time, lose my ass, have no problem, take care of all my people, which I take care of half the universe, and I enjoy doing it, no problem. Don't you think that's a good idea? I would go in right after the show, right before. Oh, and also your buddy Brandon was telling me about whatever that cake is that you got, that king.
The Mardi Gras king cake.
The Mardi Gras, he said it's like a giant cinnamon roll or something, he said?
Yeah, with a lot of frosting on it.
And he said, where did he say? I don't know where his message is. He said something about there's like a little king in the inside of it, so be careful where you bite down. What?
It's a little baby. I think it's supposed to be good luck or something if you find the baby.
And have you found it? Don't bite down on the baby. Boy, he's really wound up today. I'll tell you that. I think you did it with that, what were you asking for before? Oh, that clip, Judge Judy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
stranger! I love it. 20 till 2. We get really sports intensive at 2 o'clock, and Clarence says, thank God for that.
This is Larry King, and they don't come any better than Neil Rogers.
Absolutely.
Huh?
His name is Ralph. He's a spoiler. He cost Al Gore the election. Now he's back. George Bush is glad, and Kerry is mad. He likes to get Ralph by the throat. He is afraid he might rock the boat. But all of my friends with rings in their nose say they really like his rumpled clothes. He is Ralph Nader boy. He is no corporate toy, and that is good enough for me. He's not a pretty face. Too bad he can't win the race, and that's good news for the GOP. He is Ralph Nader boy. He knows how to annoy both of the two major parties. All of my slacker friends will vote for him again, 'cause he's safe at any speed. He is Ralph Nader boy. He is no corporate toy.
Yeah, he's an a-hole, and the reason I play that is because former Green Party presidential candidate Ralph Nader says he's considering a presidential run in 2008.
Oh, my God.
And strongly suggests over the weekend that he would enter the race if Senator Hillary Clinton wins the Democratic Party nomination, the San Francisco Chronicle will be saying. She's just another bad version of Bill Clinton, Nader told KGO radio host Ron Owens in San Francisco. Ron Owens, by the way, is great. KGO is a great talk station. I just mentioned that in passing.
Okay.
Asked to describe Clinton, the frontrunner for the Democratic presidential nomination a year in advance of the primaries, Nader said, flatters, panders, coasting, frontrunner, looking for a coronation, not taking on the huge waste in the military budget as a member of the Armed Services Commission, never going after the corporate crimes against pensions, against workers. She has no political fortitude. Asked specifically if he would run in 2008, Nader said, it's too early to say, but I'm considering it. We're going to see what the Democrats come up with. And if it's her, oi. Well, if it's her, oi, period, you know what I mean? Barack Obama's the man, and these people calling, asking, well, what's your take? What do you, I've already told you 8 million times, okay? Open up your ears. Get the waxy buildup out of there. Guess who writes this column in the International Herald Tribune? Will the U.S. attack Iran? I'll give you one guess.
I give up.
World Police, Team America World Police.
Oh.
Hans Blix.
Yeah. You know how... Oh, I can't
Hans
say
Blix.
that. Bricks.
He says, well, the United States use armed force against Iran. Hardly any foreign policy issue is hotter right now. American planes are reported to be patrolling along the border between Iraq and Iran, and U.S. forces have been authorized to kill Iranian agents in Iraq. 2 U.S. aircraft carriers are in the Gulf, and missile defenses have been installed in Gulf states. The military buildup is either to scare Tehran or to prepare for American attacks on Iran. Many remember that there was U.S. military buildup in the Gulf during the autumn of 2002 and the first months of 2003, and the U.S. attack on Iraq followed in March. Is something similar underway now? Most commentators note that a large part of the American people would disapprove of more military adventures, yet many worry that the Bush administration might be tempted to play up Iran's activities as an important reason for the anarchy in Iraq and to reduce the attention of the debacle in Iraq by opening a new front through bombings in Iran. Many governments share the conviction of the Bush administration that the aim of Iran's program for the enrichment of uranium is to give Tehran at least the ability to make a nuclear weapon in a few years. They support the demand of the UN Security Council that Iran stops the program and believe that economic sanctions that prohibit the delivery of material and equipment for the program may influence Iran. However, practically all are of the view that a military attack would be disastrous. Although it might delay the program of enrichment a few years, it would at the same time probably lead to full national acceptance of the program, increased Iranian support for terrorism, and perhaps a crisis in the supply and delivery of oil. Iran's response to the action of the Security Council has so far been to reduce U.S. inspectors' access to Iranian nuclear installations and at the same time declare a readiness for talks, provided that the Council drop the demand that the program for enrichment must be suspended before talks are opened. Iran is thus on a collision course with the resolution adopted by the Council. While Washington declares that diplomacy rather than military action is on the agenda, the administration evidently believes that naval demonstrations may have an impact. A recent column in the Washington Times suggested an even more explicit demonstration, the launching of a missile on the former U.S. embassy in Tehran, now used by the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. In Europe and elsewhere, people are worried that mistakes might lead to an armed conflict or to an Iranian withdrawal from the Non-Proliferation Treaty or refusal of inspection by the International Atomic Energy Agency. So what can be done? In the case of North Korea, the United States seems to be able to sit down for talks without demanding that the production of plutonium be stopped prior to the talks, and even to indicate that an agreement could constitute the opening of diplomatic relations and guarantees against attacks in return for denuclearization. It is difficult to understand why, in the case of Iran, the suspension of the program for enrichment of uranium has been made a precondition for any talks in which suspension is the main subject. It isn't long ago that an American commission led by former Secretary of State James Baker and former Representative Lee Hamilton declared that the U.S. ought to engage in talks with Iran and Syria. Yet, despite the dire situation in Iraq, the Bush administration prefers to talk to Iran and Syria through public statements and military threats. It's a little like the boss who said they'd like to have exchanges of views with his subordinates. They should come to present their views and walk out with his views. A less humiliating approach might give better results. Such an approach is now being tested in the case of North Korea. Why not in Iran, too, asks Hans Wicks.
I have so many lines, and I just can't use any of them.
That's bad.
Yeah.
You don't want to get... Huh?
I got a good Kim Jong-il impersonation, but I can't use any of his lines.
Oh, don't be doing that. How about Alec Baldwin?
We have
anybody that hasn't seen the movie Team America World Police, you're as square as a cardboard box. I mean, even I've watched it about 3 times already.
And it's funnier every time, yeah.
It's a hoot. It's great. 11:57 on the poll. You know, Chris would have really leaned on it today heavily, but of course I think all that food that you keep, you're going to gain all that weight back working there. That's what I'm afraid of.
So I'm doing my best not to go overboard like a lot of this stuff.
Don't go crazy there. In fact, that was a good idea. You had Josh Cordes in there early, I noticed, sucking up some of the free food. That's good. That's good. Get him in there and give him all the slop over, you know what I mean? Pass along all the slop over to Cordes. And then, of course, you can heat it up on a nice flavor wave. I use that thing almost every day.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing.
I don't know anybody that I talked into getting one that isn't, like, enchanted with it. I mean, what's not to like? Except the fact that eventually it's, that thing is going to burn out and they'll have to either replace it or get a new one. I can handle it. $100. Do you know how long it takes to lose $100 Canadian at Woodbine on a bad machine, man? Maybe 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, I guess maybe 5. Maybe. If you take it slow. If you don't bang it too fast. And the button either.
When you're playing those nickels?
I got news for you. You can play the nickels, and you can play like up to 40 or 50 nickels per. What is 50 nickels?
I think
it's like $2.50.
45 nickels is what it usually is.
So that's like that's like over $2 a play, for Christ's sakes. Don't get suckered in, man. A fool and his money are soon parted. Don't get suckered in. If there's anything I can't stand, it's people who like gambling. Oh, and you know what tomorrow is, by the way? Speaking of not being able to stand people who gamble, you know what tomorrow is?
Hump Day?
No, tomorrow's Woodbine Wednesday.
I know.
Yeah, you know. Maybe I'll find me a good machine. I don't think there is anything anymore. I think they had somebody come in the middle of the night and haul all the good machines out. They said that old Jew fag is over here winning money every once in a while. We better put an end to that. And you know what? They did a good job of it, too.
It stinks in Miami town at 560 WQAT. They have all the oil they need to keep the gas flowing. Nothing more than corporate greed, no one to control it. That's some ridiculous gall. Upset with Clinton and sex, now these guys instead are screwing you all. At the pump they rape me. Price of the gallon, it's higher each time. Rape me. At the pump they rape me. They're making profits at an all-time high. Open war on the middle class, pathetic and tragic. No balls to say to Bush, kiss my ass. It's over, we've had it.
Rectum.
You hear new spin every day, attempting to justify gouging the price high as the sky.
Oh my God.
Rape me. At the pump they rape me. They raise the price high as they like. Rape me.
more prisoners. Make them scream nice and loud. Get me some wires and a battery pack. I don't care if they ain't from Iraq. Should be used to the torture. 'Cause we're just playing their game. In the past, it had to be worse with Saddam Hussein.
Bye, bye, bye! When it comes to sports.
Blue 89! Blue 89!
We're the authority. Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
When you put it in your mouth, it doesn't stick to your tongue. It sort of melts gently in my mouth.